go. It looks like you're live.
Is it live?
Sí, señor.
Now you're showing everybody your back end. Giggity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not that people don't appreciate looking at your back end, but there are nicer back ends to look at.
Yeah, you might want to not share that, Midnight.
Social Security is 11137.
No, it's I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, it's the same as your
same Social Security number as my luggage. Damn it!
That's the kind of that's the luggage code.
Yeah. Spaceballs luggage code 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's crazy.
Right.
Same code as my leg.
Yep.
No, they said only an idiot would use that combination. It sounds like a combination they put it on their luggage, and it's like the president walks in. Amazing! This is the same combination as my luggage. I got to get my luggage changed.
Awesome movie. You can't beat Spaceballs. That's a killer movie. They're talking about making a second one again. They've been talking about it forever, but it just popped up again the other day. Somebody was talking about it, and I was like, it's a bummer because they don't have John Candy or what's her name? No, Rick Moranis is still alive.
Yeah, but what'd he do one though?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. He says
he stopped doing movies, 20, 30 years ago?
His wife died. He stopped doing movies to take care of his kids. He did a commercial here recently. I have a hard time crapping on that guy for doing he was hot when he left, man. Yeah. He was freaking on fire.
Hey, we did do a phone commercial.
All that stuff.
Huh?
I did a cell phone commercial with Ryan Reynolds for that Mint Mobile.
Yeah, he's coming back.
He's done some voice acting and whatnot in the past too. So he didn't disappear entirely. He's just very selective on the roles he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because of his situation.
Oh, this kid's got to be damn near 40 now. So I don't think that could be holding back.
They're probably in their 20s or 30s at this point. Yes.
No, but it could just simply be a point of, you know what? I like doing movies, but I just kind of like being Mr. Dad. So yeah, bye.
He made enough. He made enough movies to retire anyway. So
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So I'm just checking here, and internet's perfect. They got lots of bandwidth, and it's running good. And who knows? So we'll see what happens. The last couple of weeks we've had issues. About halfway through the.
I like your IHOP picture in the background.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
where do you? How do you?
It looks like a sandwich of some sort on pancakes.
Sandwich. It's a brioche bun. It's got like a nice little golden crust to it.
Oh God,
we're gonna talk about. Well, it's not. It is, but it isn't. It's similar, but it's a little lighter, a little fluffier. I do have. We are gonna have a little sandwich talk later, though. Because I've had a couple of people tag me in some stuff and send me links to some things where people are saying that hot dogs are sandwiches. And I know some of you guys get all butthurt about it. So I figured, let's go over these instances and we'll see what happens. So we can talk about whatever. I got some articles pulled up and it's live, isn't it? We don't have anybody out there chatting now. It's weird. Usually we got a couple of people out there, but I don't know. Maybe something cool's going on. I don't know.
Nothing cool's going on.
Well, nothing cool's going on here either. So it works out nice.
At least we're honest.
Yeah, right. Nighthawk, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, not much. Just kind of closing off a week of vacation, watching the chaos, and I've literally changed the guns that I'm reviewing so that I do not take ammunition from good people here locally. They're actually needed for self-defense. So it's been a busy week for me, brother. Thanks for having me in.
So if you guys are interested in slingshot videos, go check out Nighthawk Medic. He's going to be doing a lot of slingshot videos and boomerang videos and stuff like that.
Totally. I plan on taking down a kangaroo in the backslid.
Yeah. Oh, Ghost Tactical's out there. Foss is out there. Obnoxious was out there. I don't know if he's still out there. Ghost, I sent you a link. I got something cool in the mail. I wanna show you then. Moo, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Midnight and panel. Not a whole lot. Just got home from work. I'd sit down and have some of my homemade chicken soup that I made this morning.
You hear that? He calls his wife a hoe. That's ridiculous.
No. He calls his wife a homemade.
Yeah,
so
he
she's
said
not even a regular hoe. He's got her doing domestic chores. I mean, come on. This is not the 1500s. What the hell?
He said homemade. I don't know. I got confused, I guess. I don't know.
Bitch, where's my sandwich?
Stand up. You're probably sitting on it.
She's too busy ironing my shirt. Sorry.
Yeah. George, what's going on, buddy?
You're muted, bud.
He voted for Biden. He's still got the sticker on his hat and everything. Yeah, George, we can't hear you. You're muted.
You're muted, bud.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I pressed unmute. No, I'm just busy doing stuff around the house. Picked up some ammo from a friend. Got 100 rounds of 40 S&W for $25. So I was like,
100 rounds for $25. You can't beat that.
Nope.
That's
I
can't beat
I
that.
showed to you, but I don't know if YouTube has that deal about showing ammo. So
who knows? I don't know what you can and can't do anymore.
No.
Worst thing that happens is they turn this off and people go watch something better. Right? There you go.
I don't think the people who watch our stuff know if there is anything better.
That's probably
I mean, they're pretty gullible.
Thanks for that, though. I mean, I was feeling pretty good about myself.
Yep,
Night Strike,
for the invite.
No, absolutely, man.
Oh, I was muted. Yeah, I'm doing well. I've got a couple jokes for Two Line Moo, though. Hey, Moo. How does a cow become invisible?
How?
Through camouflage.
Oh.
Well, I can just feel the cancer growing in my brain from that joke.
I'm sorry.
That's how you're playing. Shut her down, boys.
I have lost the will to live having heard that joke.
Look, just take this bottle of ibuprofen and this gallon of water and come back in the morning. You'll be fine.
I was worried about. Hopefully, Kingpin didn't hear that because I was worried that he was going to be swinging from his closet because of the election alone, let alone bad jokes like that. That might push him over the edge.
Let's not talk about politics.
No, we took Kingpin's curtain rod out of there and put it down about 3 feet. So he'd have to really try. He'd have to bury his head through the concrete to be able to do that.
Yeah. It was Tuesday. I guess it was Tuesday night. I hadn't seen him on a chat or anything for like a day and a half, and I was like, "Oh man, should somebody go down there and check on him?" I might be the closest one to him. Maybe I should get in the truck and go down and make sure he's okay. What a bummer. Is Night Strike even a dad? How does he have the right to tell dad jokes? Yeah. Anyway, that's true. Yeah, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Well, there was that one night in Tulsa.
He stole somebody.
Whoa, we don't talk about that.
Look, no red-blooded American male turns down free pizza unless he's got something else going on. I'm just saying.
And for the record, I am the king of bad jokes.
There you go. Some of them are so horrible they're funny though. That's when you. Those are the good ones.
It's like what do you get when you cross a cow and a Smurf?
I believe it's 25 to life.
No, blue cheese.
No, that one's not good. That's
blue milk, maybe. No, blue milk. Blue cheese would be what happens when you mix Grandpa Smurf and a cow. That would be blue cheese because Grandpa Smurf is already spoiled.
Ooh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
When you have to explain it, it's not funny.
So, I all week I really intended to come on and bitch and moan about the election process, the election, and how everything went. And I know there's been quite a bit of people that, everybody's been doing. Ghost never got an email. Damn, some bitch. Let me
Ghost. It's not our fault that you gave away your email address to that Nigerian prince.
Right? I know. Yeah, right. Maybe I sent it to the wrong email for you or something.
Send me money, and I will send you more money.
Or Ghost, is it that you forgot about the
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there was one here. Yeah, I got a message not delivered. There was a problem delivering your message.
Check your email, Ghost. I sent you one.
Yeah, I got it here. I sent it to your other email. Maybe, I don't know, it didn't go through. Yeah, right here it is.
Sticky.
So, I don't know if you guys, if everybody follows me on Instagram, when I woke up the other day and saw what the hell had happened and how close everything was and how many votes had come in late for Biden. It was just disheartening. It's just disheartening, you know?
This is it. We said this on Match Chat the other night, but the thing is, it would be more believable if all of those votes that came in, after hours were a mixed number of candidates and not just one. If it's just one candidate, it's way too obvious. Okay, if you're gonna try and cheat, at least make it look believable instead of something like that.
Well, I don't know the process and how they count. I don't know if they separate them and then count them, or if they count them while they're separating them, or if they just count them and throw. I would imagine they separate them. So I don't really know the process, but I do know that, I think a far bigger issue than who got elected, because whoever got elected, we were going to have to deal with it regardless. If Biden blew Trump away and we had to deal with Biden, so be it. If Trump won, so be it. We deal with that. I have an issue with the untrustworthiness that I feel in the system. And I feel like for years, and there's been other elections that were close. I mean, we all remember, Gore or whatnot, and even Trump Hillary was very close. I feel like we got caught with our pants down. Not we, the elections board. Yeah, the government, the elections board, whatever you want to say. Feel like they got caught with their pants down for years and years of not being close enough to worry about fraud, not to be worried about accidental votes, not to have to worry about glitches, not to have to worry about accidental miscounts. And, this whole there's 5%, there's a 5% margin of error. Well, I mean, when you think about it, 5% is pretty damn big. It doesn't sound like much. Over years and years ago, you'd say 5%. It's like, yeah, but what the hell? 5% ain't going to matter. This year, it fucking mattered, and it mattered a lot. And it's very, to me, it's my confidence in the system is just low. I feel like they got caught with their pants down, and now we're reaping the consequences of that. And it's really upsetting. It really bums the shit out of me. I've been bitching all week, and I've been talking to people about it, and that's my biggest concern. Is it mattered this time that things were done properly, and
they weren't.
And they weren't.
Have you seen the pictures and the videos of people going and filling out the votes at the counting centers?
I've seen a lot of.
I don't know whether that's real or not, but they shouldn't be filling anything out.
It's real. What happened was those ballots could not be read through the machines, so they had to fill out a duplicate ballot to be counted because it wouldn't go through the machine.
Yeah, I was going to say that I could totally see that. Now, here's my question, and maybe nobody has an answer for that. People have different ballots in different states and different counties because there's different things going on. But were they all read the same way? Because when we did ours, we filled it out and you fed it into a machine and it told you whether it was accepted or not. Now, I do have an issue with that and my wife did too when I came home and we talked about it. She was like, I can't believe it didn't tell you who you voted for to confirm that. And I said, yeah, me either. I feel like you should, in some way, shape, or form, be able to verify who you voted for your own peace of mind and to make sure that there was no glitch or error. So whether it spit out a receipt or whether it gave you the ability to go online to verify it some way, or at the very, very least, showed you who you voted for and let you click accept or something like that. So we fed it into the machine and it said your votes have been accepted or your ballot has been accepted. Yeah. Is that how all of them were across the United States?
Yeah, that's how mine worked too.
Hey, can I bring something really super important up here? It's really important. I watched the Bushes cheat their balls off to win in 2000 in Florida. Okay. So the concept that this is really the first time most Americans have watched the election process be fraudulently cheated is because most Americans haven't paid much attention to it.
Well, sure, and I think that's and I'll go with you on that one. And I don't know because I was pretty young. You know what I mean? So this is the first time that I've felt that something nefarious has happened, or whatever. So if that happened then, I don't know, possibly. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what, the Bushes fixed an election so they could be the next kings of America. They essentially had to pay the Saudis back for the crap they were pulling in the Middle East and all the money they made off of them. So, I mean, it was almost the end of the world that they weren't going to take that election. So they literally fought Florida, and it was the Democrats who seceded, even though they probably won that state. And so the reality of it is what we're watching is not a new thing. If you think they magically set this system up 4 years ago when Trump became president, you're crazy. Okay, these things have always existed. These processes have always existed. This is the first time it has, one, been under this much scrutiny, and two, has been done on such a large scale. So I was up all night long watching the counters go. And there was distinctly movement in states that was impossible. They definitely cheated somehow, okay? Because until that moment at 3:30 in the morning when the counters went from going little Trump, little Biden, a little Trump, a little Biden, suddenly all of a sudden it was all Biden for about an hour and a half. And so, or about an hour. And so we know this happens in this country. What this has effectively done is to create an incredible amount of distrust in our election system that some of us have had for a long time. And so welcome to the party, first of all. And second of all, there's only one thing at this point that really matters, and that is that Trump fights his guts out, because when he loses this, and I hope to God I'm wrong about this, by the way, but when he loses this and the next election comes up, we are going to have the largest job in the world trying to encourage people who just watched this happen to get out and vote.
I said the same exact thing at work. At work the other day, one of my cooks and I, we talk a lot of politics, we talk a lot of guns. He's kind of a libertarian, but he was very liberal, and now he's considers himself a libertarian, and he's much more conservative than he used to be. And that's what I had said to him. I'd said, you know what, this election, the amount of people that felt they needed to vote and should vote and did vote was huge. It was a huge kick in the pants to get people to vote. But also this election has, I think, destroyed that in a lot of people. And they're going to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Who gives a shit anymore? It's going to be it's going to be whatever they want it to be.
It doesn't. Well, look at how the voting system is set up. Okay, you got some cities that basically take all the votes away from everywhere else in the state. In some states, because
that's happened forever.
It's happened forever. We live with it. I understand that, but think about all those people outside of those cities that voted one way, and then the cities vote another way, and it's like all their votes didn't matter in the first place. And it's always been like.
But that's not rigged. That's just what the population is.
Oh, I know. I understand that.
Okay.
But it's like those people aren't being represented, though.
Yeah,
they're being represented. They're getting their votes. It's just there's not enough. There's more people in the cities than the rest of the state. I mean, every single person in the state could vote, but if 90% of the population is in the city, then they're going to go where that city goes. That's not rigged. It's just where the population is.
To do away with that, you would almost have, like we have the electoral college for states. You'd almost have to have an electoral college for within the states, and then you know what I mean. Like it would be a hell of a process.
It would be a hell of a process. Yeah, I understand, but just think about those states that have that situation, and think about how many people are so disheartened because of what the major cities have done.
That's
not the end of the world, though. You have Maine and Nebraska that do that system already, where they separate the electoral college votes based on the percentage of the population that votes for what. And in actuality, we're at the point now where we have to sit down and decide, is it actually mob rule for a singular city to decide for the rest of the state?
Weston says, does there need to be some sort of standardization for federal election and setting lead up to the state? Yeah, I absolutely. That's exactly what I was getting at. And Clover out there too. I don't know if anybody, we were kind of talking. I talked to him, but I didn't mention, he said, before you can use the electronic machines here, it gives you a number, which you can later put into the county website and see who you voted for. The machines also have you verify your picks 3 different times. That's amazing, and that's what it should be.
That's the way ours is.
You see, up here it's not. It just told you whether it was accepted, which, I mean, who knows? I just, and you kind of feed it in there. You're like, okay, and and I hopped in my truck and brought my kid back home, and I went to work. But to be able to go in there and check, I think is amazing. The only thing you have to be careful is now you've got, people with, you've got databases with people's names and who they voted for and all that kind of stuff. Like it definitely has to be securely done. You don't want that kind of information. I mean, voter information is pretty all encompassing. It could have your driver's license number. It could have your social security number. It could have all sorts of stuff attached to it. So you definitely have to be careful. And that's another one I've bitched about forever is I really, and I said this in a chat the other day and I didn't really get a good answer, and maybe you guys can help me out with this. There's an argument against having people required to show ID to vote because it's a right, and people will say you shouldn't have to verify it because it's a right, and there should be no speed bumps before you exercise a right. But at what point? And I mean, years ago, 100 years ago or whatever, you'd hear all these horror stories about people that were voting 2, 3, 4 times, especially in cities where they couldn't keep track of people. And, they were paying people to vote, and they were paying people to vote multiple times, and they were, taking them in different districts and voting again. Why should you not? Is there somebody that can answer this? Why should you not have to prove with some sort of ID that you are who you are to be able to vote? Is there a legal reason for that, or is it just a philosophical reason?
I've got a question for you. How do we stop people who aren't citizens from voting in our elections?
Well, that's
they can't register to vote.
Right, but that's part of the issue for me is
it plays into your question.
Right, yeah. I believe that there should there be a countrywide voter ID, policy, or what do you guys think?
Yeah, there needs to be a voter registration card that is federally. It's got a chip in it. When you go, you swipe it, whatever you want to do when you go check in. But understand, when you register to vote, it's not like you just show up and say, "Here's my name. I want to register to vote." When you register to vote, you have to show proof of who you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like anyone can just show up and say, "Hey, I'm John Smith and I want to register to vote." "Okay, Mr. Smith, here's your card. You can go vote." It's not like anyone can go register to vote. So the answer is, how do you stop illegal aliens from voting? They have to register to vote.
Right. Something else too, people here, all you have to do is sign. All you have to do is sign your name. I didn't have to show any ID. I just walked in, told them who I was. They gave me a card, or my son a card, and he walked it over to the lady, and she looked it up. And in that book was my name, address, and all that stuff. She didn't ask me to verify any of that. She just said, "Okay, sign here." And I don't know if everybody else's is like this. As she was looking at it, she could read my signature, and then I sign it while it's basically upside down or whatever. So they're side by side, but one's upside down, and but I sign my name two different ways depending on what I'm signing. Sometimes at work, when I sign invoices or I sign stuff like that, I'll actually just do my initials and circle it quick, or my initials or something, obviously. And every once in a while, I'll find myself doing that on stuff that I shouldn't be too. And I thought, you know what? I wonder how I sign my name. I was like, man, that'd be really shitty to sign my name differently and have them call me out on it and it'd be a big thing. And she just pushed the book towards me. I was like, oh, that's how I signed it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird too, to say you need to sign this with your signature, but here's your signature in case you don't know what it is. You know what I mean?
Yes, dude. We had to present a picture ID and our voter registration card to vote, and then sign the book. So that right there tells you there needs to be. I'm not saying for state and local elections, for federal elections, House Representatives, Senate, and President, there needs to be a governing statutory way of how we're going to vote, how you're going to identify yourself as a registered voter, and it has to go across the board, across all the states. That's just the only way it's going to work. That's the only way that people are going to feel somewhat secure in what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
I didn't have to bring my voter registration card, and all I had to bring was my photo ID, and all I had to do was sign.
Yeah, we didn't even have to do that. I don't think we. Trying to think, I don't
remember. South Carolina is a little different, a little backwards.
I just took my driver's license.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Now, one of the other things, with the things sitting the way they are, things have been called. All the major news outlets have called it for Biden. Obviously, Biden has basically done his acceptance speech. All the wheels are set in motion for him to take over the position, even though there's all sorts of weird shit going on with recounts and things going to possibly the Supreme Court and having decisions made to possibly throw ballots or throw votes out. Do you think? Well, I think. I'll tell you what I think first is if something happens and this gets flipped on its head and they, for some reason and somehow Trump would become president, the United States would see rioting like, I believe, it would be incredible, like an insane amount of violence, I think, would occur. Do you think the Supreme Court, now they shouldn't But do you think the Supreme Court, if they get any of these cases, will take that into account? Will they say, you know what, if we make one decision, it'll be pretty much status quo. If we make another, there's going to be a lot of violence. They're going to shy away from that.
Absolutely. Conservatives have proven in the past that we are bitches and that we will always remain that way. And so the entire world is aware of that. Trust me, they would not be cheating their balls off right now if that was not the case. Okay. Mm-hmm. They would not be doing it so blatantly if that was not the case. And I am the last person to say, let's go out and fight each other. Okay. Because that's ugly and nobody here really wants to think about that. And everybody who's telling you right now, come and get it, is the first one who's going to crap their pants and run. Okay. So
they're never going to get out of the basement anyway. So
that's exactly right. So ultimately, yes, I believe that will happen. So how do we change it next time? Next time, we're not the pushovers. So if you have 100, let's just talk our case right now. We have 100 million gun owners. Half of those people are worthless. They're never going to do a thing. The other half of those people are financially incapable of even going to a meeting or do not have the intelligence to consistently understand what's going on. Half of those people, again, are not even remotely interested in anything you're saying. Okay. So we managed to get 6 million people across the country to unify under a singular cause. We could change enough that they would listen to what we had to say by the next election. Okay. Whether it be any process, anything, the ATF, any of those things, but we have to mobilize now. We have to do something now. We have to get people talking about it, and we have to start to modify the culture, because all that's happened is the culture's gotten away from us and everybody looks at us like the gravy train. And until we change that impression of ourselves, it's just going to keep happening. My 2 cents.
Patriot says, sure, if the liberals were in charge of the Supreme Court, they would definitely take riots into consideration, but riots are not protected in the Constitution. I am not, and if anybody out there is thinking, I am not saying that they should fold and let Biden be president because it's safer for the country or whatever, or there's going to be less riots and less violence and less whatever. I'm not saying that. If anybody's going to text that out there, I'm just posing the question, as an open forum question. Weston says, much like Nixon in 1960 election, he didn't feel it was worth putting the country through fighting in the courts over the Chicago votes. I don't know what happened in 60. Maybe somebody can let me know what happened with that, but is it like a similar thing?
Basically, yeah, Nixon gave it up because it wasn't worth the fight. Same thing happened with Bush. And so it's a realistic scenario. Mm-hmm. And so there are people that will disagree with me conceptually, but the reality of it is I challenge you right now to tell me where your battleground is and how you're going to battle, because I will sign up and go with you right now. I'm doing it in my home state. We don't have any leaders. Everyone in this chat and everyone out there is capable of being a leader. And I challenge you to assemble a group of people and fight today. I don't think it will happen, though. I do not believe it will happen. And I would love to eat my words and come on a public show and say, holy crap, conservatives got together and moved the bar. But I don't believe it'll happen. I think we just need to start planning to get it done within the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm. So who do you, and that's a good little segue here. Who do you guys think's running? Who do you think the Republicans run in 2024? Is it somebody we know, or is it going to be somebody that they pull from some farm team somewhere?
The new and improved Ted Cruz.
Cruz,
Cruz will run. I don't know if he'll get the. Yeah, I don't know if
he'll get the nomination.
But he'll run. I think Mike Pence will run, and I think Mike Pence did a big enough job in the VP debate to put himself in that position.
I also think, I know, people liked him. People didn't like him because of the TAPS Act that he was pushing down there. But I could see Crenshaw's been very outspoken, and against, a lot of the Democrat stuff. I could see him running too. He'll have another 4 years underneath him. I could see somebody, he seems like a pretty straightforward guy, unlikable guy. Seems, he's young. He's got his service behind him, his military service behind him, and on top of that, it'd be pretty badass to have a president with an eye patch. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, just think of all the pirate memes we could have.
Yeah, hard to fuck with that. But
it's difficult to get a military service member into the presidency, though, in recent memory, because we all have speckled pasts with living.
Well, no, what was the last one that actually served? What was it? Bush Jr.?
Yep.
Yeah, sort of. He was in
sort of, and then
if you want to call it that.
Okay,
right, the Air Force
Bush
Reserve.
Senior. Bush Senior actually served. He was actually shot down and picked up and bountied for like 5 gallons of ice cream during the Second World War. No, seriously, that's how. That's
old man Bush. Old man Bush. If you look at every president we've ever had, aside from George Washington, literally maybe Thomas Jefferson, George Bush Sr. was probably the most qualified on paper ever to be the president.
It's a shame the Saudis hadn't already bought and paid for him, but yeah.
Okay, whatever, bro. Look at his resume. I'm just saying that qualifications on a resume, George Bush Sr. was one of the most qualified people ever to be in the White House.
He was a brilliant man, but the modern military man has got a way more speckled past than he did. And
this was 1988.
Right. He was also in the service in the 1940s when it's not our modern era. You march a modern military man on a stage, every Democrat for 100 miles will look up every girlfriend, every port girlfriend, and everybody else that he ever had, and those little girls will sing. You'll never get one up on the stage there at all that they won't just cut to pieces and claim he is a archaic barbarian. We're going to have to put up a poster child.
I get what you're saying, but like, what's up with the negative Nancy tonight? I mean, everything's negative. You can't tell me that there's not one person that's serving in the military or has served that would be. You're telling me that Colin Powell wouldn't be a great nominee?
He might have been before Obama.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a modern day warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have voted for him 8 years ago?
Colin Powell? Probably not. No.
Okay. Why?
I was a Democrat 8 years ago.
Okay, but was it because he was a modern day warrior, a barbarian, or because you were just in the wrong party?
No. What you have to understand is 8 years ago, I was so done with the Republican Party and starting
that's not the question that I asked
I
you.
had become a Democrat. So there was no way.
But that's not the question that I asked you.
Hang on, you asked me why
would you have not voted him because you didn't believe with him politically, or because he was foreign military?
By modern standards, hang on. So you can't take me back 8 years and then apply a modern standard. We have to think about somebody that the country's going to vote for, which includes putting a Republican up there that they're not going to be able to rip to pieces so hard that everybody will be afraid to put a vote in for him. Okay. And so 8 years ago, my standard for what a modern warrior would have survived a modern election was a completely different thing. Right now, they're dragging people up and attempting to destroy these people's character in every way, shape, or form possible. So if you could produce anything that even had an inkling of realism around one of those accusations, you would lose almost 100% of the female vote in this country, which is almost entirely liberal.
I think.
All right, so a little bit this way: if Marcus Luttrell is going for the nomination in 2024, what are people going to do about Marcus Luttrell?
As long as Marcus Luttrell doesn't have anything in his history that's going to be ugly, then he's probably going to make
every single person who's ever run for office is going to have some skeletons in the closet. But you're telling me that people aren't going to like Marcus Luttrell?
I think one of the things I think we're looking at things really weird because we just dealt with Trump for 4 years, 3.5 years too. There's a whole lot of times out there. There's a whole lot of people out there where they could bring stuff up, and how that person handles it is going to determine whether it's that bad or not too. I mean, banging a bunch of chicks back in the day, and doing whatever. If you got busted for drugs or whatever it might be, because that stuff is super common. That person that's running, depending on how they handle that, could be is very important. And somebody that gets busted doing something back in the day. Now, I'm not talking about something horrible and illegal. I'm talking about, shit that everybody does when they're young. Like when they tried to bust Kamala on, and she was like, well, yeah, I smoked weed when I was listening to Tupac and blah, 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 blah. Like, she didn't deny it. She didn't push it away. And that's why she looked at all decent in that situation, is she was able to justify it because she was young, and this is what young people do. I think when you get somebody like Trump in there, they can't stand to have somebody call them out on something that they did that was wrong. He's so egotistical. He could never just allow himself to eat it and be like, hey, I was young and I've learned a lot since then, or whatever. Like, he would never do something like that. But you get somebody up there, we're talking about Marcus Luttrell or something. He's a fucking badass dude, man. Like, I've listened to the video. If you've never listened to the video of him when somebody shot his dog, it's insane. Somebody shot his fucking dog, and he went after him, after him. And he's on the phone. It's crazy. Just a sidebar here. He's on the phone with 911.
Yes, he is.
While he's chasing these dudes at 100 miles an hour. And he's like, oh, yeah, I have my Beretta with me. I have my M9 with me. He's like, I'm chasing these guys. I'm not letting them go. And they're like, oh, sir, we'll handle this. And he's like, no. And he chased us. It was crazy. But he's like, I had more emotion in my voice talking about it than he did when he was talking to the cops. This dude is stone cold. It's crazy. But somebody like him, I could totally see, them saying, oh, we've got reports that, you did this and you did that. I could totally see him saying, yeah, I was young, and this is what we, I'm not proud of it, but, I've learned a lot and I've moved on with my life, and having it, fall by the wayside. Maybe I'm naive in thinking that, and I'm sure people probably think I am. But I think nowadays there's a whole lot of people out there that when you call them out on something, if they handle it properly, people just kind of, all right, well, I'm going to move on to the next thing I'm supposed to be pissed off about. Who's the next person that I'm supposed to cancel culture? This guy's not having it, Well,
see, that's the problem is we want to put our elected officials on a pedestal as to being these people that are supposed to be like these righteous people. We know they're not. But allowing yourself to think that they don't have any skeletons in the closet, one, you're naive, and two, you're setting yourself up to be disappointed. So I would much rather have a candidate sit there and say, yep, I did this, I did that, I did this. You know what? He's just like me. He's just like 90% of the people that did the same stuff when they were younger. That actually makes me feel better about that candidate, saying, you know what? He's a real dude. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
So can I interject one thing, and then I will drop this, because I think Ghost and I are just going to have to agree to disagree. So if we take whatever total we believe are legitimate votes in the United States against Donald Trump, because, by the way, you don't get any more real than Donald Trump expressing whatever filth goes through his mind on Twitter. Okay? You just don't get any more real than that. Okay? So if we say, and I want you to choose whatever arbitrary number you believe is the percentage of votes that the Democrats received that were not legitimate votes, and remove those from their voting total, and then look at the number you have left and decide whether or not it's going to be possible to run a candidate ever again against that number of people and that population of people that is not able to pass a high-level scrutiny test and defeat another Democrat for as long as we're a country. And just do that rhetorical experiment for yourself, because that's what we're up against at this point. We have a significant population of people in this country that are pushing heavily for socialism. And they're pushing heavily for socialism because they do not understand anything else. And I'm sorry, but at this point, American politics is going to be just as bad as European politics, which is a giant slander session.
So what part of that do we disagree in?
You disagree with my opinion that our next president should not be a former military service member. I don't think they should be.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with Trump or with the way the world is going. I'm just saying that you can't just blanketly throw out there, we cannot have a former military person running for president. I think that's absolutely crazy.
I think it's the
But
smartest
we don't
thing
disagree
we can do.
on what's happened.
Yeah, and that's what we disagree on. Is I don't think there is any world where I would run any prior service military in the next election. There is no way I would start out with my next foundation after Donald Trump being somebody that could potentially angle that number of things against. I would actually run another career politician, because at this point, 74 million people voted for another career politician to get rid of somebody who was an unknown.
Look, I think both of you are kind of too focusing on the fact that someone being former military is one aspect of what would or would not make them electable. There is, let's say with Obama, he had some political thing, then it was, oh, hey, look, it's a thing. He fits all these categories. It's a thing. So,
no, I don't care who he put up as a candidate. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is it's dangerous to say, in my opinion, it's dangerous to say that a veteran can't be president. That's crazy to me. That's
not
crazy
what
to
I
me.
said. I said running the next election, you don't make a veteran president.
But that's crazy to me.
It's got to check, for better or for worse, for both sides of the aisle. They've got to check these certain boxes, and like I said, for better or for worse, if they're on the Republican side, okay, they got to get down to that, Christian minority of the fundamental conservatives and all that. And if they're on the Democrat side, they have to be all the different alphabets and new words that are bad and not bad, or any more than that. It's, one simple thing. I forgot the name of the gal who was running, who was National Guard or whatever, the colonel.
Gabbard?
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard?
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, man, that's an impressive person right there.
Yeah, and she didn't have a snowball's chance in heck.
Her and Buttigieg will be running the DNC's policy for years and years to come. That's a bright woman.
She is highly intelligent, and there's just no chance that person will ever be our president.
I didn't say she was. I'm saying she's going to run policy for the DNC for a long, long time.
I agree.
But adds, in the words of the immortal Douglas Adams, the president's job is not to wield power, it's to distract people's attention from the actual people who do wield power. It's the people in the Senate, the people in the House, the people who have pockets deep enough to say, hey, sign this and we'll make sure that you get a nice, cushy retainer if and when you're out of power.
Speaking of which, we got to get people in Georgia to get out there in January, because that could be very, very dangerous in the runoff.
Well, the nice thing about January in Georgia is, as long as we don't completely allow Soros to run the state over again like we did last time, with $160 million, as long as we do something smarter as Republicans this time around, the main cities won't completely dominate the vote. And if we can prevent people in the rural areas of Georgia from feeling completely like voting is pointless, which is, by the way, what I hear every day right now, because I live exactly 20 miles from the border, from my fellow Georgians, that we might actually win that, because it won't be the New York effect out of Atlanta.
And speaking of Georgia, Georgia Rebel just showed up in the chat.
There you go. We all need to move to Georgia ASAP. There you go, Weston.
No. I prefer my heat and humidity to be non-existent.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter whether I live in South Carolina or Georgia. It's the same climate.
Yeah, you're pretty close to it.
Mm-hmm.
Muggy, hot, muggy shit. It sucks.
Yeah, it's not even better than where you're at either. So
at
least I don't get that much snow.
Yeah,
Oh, no, it's much better. He gets fresh pretzels every day from the Amish.
There you go.
Well,
yeah, we don't get the humidity. We don't get. I mean, we do sometimes, but not like down south, man.
I'm sorry, Midnight, but not all of us can have those really nice Amish
Where I'm at,
electric
we
fireplaces.
have the king of humidity.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot.
Hot.
Even though we're by the Gulf, it's supposed to be cooler. It's still hot.
I've lost track of what's going on out in the chat a little bit. There's a lot of back and forth. So, Patriot is saying, well, you have to be in the White House to run policy unless you guys are giving up. None of us believe a single word the media has said for the past 4 years. Why are you believing them now? I'm not sure what I missed, but I sure as hell don't believe. I don't personally believe, a large percentage of what comes out of the media anymore. I think those
I don't
days,
think anyone in here does.
I think those days are far gone where you can trust anything that's being told to you from any of the the 3-letter networks. They're so openly biased and so
Fear mongering,
inaccurate. Fear mongering, sure, but inaccurate in what they put out there, what they do. Like whether sometimes it's with a purpose, and sometimes it's just pure stupidity. Some of the shit that they.
Well, you saw between CNN and Fox News when they were showing the electoral votes between Biden and Trump, and Trump would be at 214 on CNN, and then on Fox he would be 213,
right,
and then Biden would be 254 on CNN, and on Fox he was 264. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? It's like these guys are off or something,
Well, also it's two different networks, and
they're not calling the same. They're not calling the same races at the same time.
Yeah. Does Tulsi Gabbard have any ass pick shots? I don't know. Knives. That's a good question. You should get on that.
Do some research, and you're going to have to run it through that specialized program that they just released that tells you whether something's been photoshopped or not. I mean, we're not saying we won't accept Photoshop photos, but it'd be nice to have a genuine article.
Now, I'm not sure if she's married or not. I don't know what her relationship status is. Maybe you can get some firsthand. Who knows? Maybe maybe stroll in there and lay on that little turtle charm you got, and who knows? Maybe you can get someone.
I don't think he wants to take one for the team.
I love that he has that kind of game, and as a matter of fact, if he doesn't take one for the team at this point, I'd propose we ostracize him.
No, we cannot ostracize Knives. That's like going up to the corner of your house and saying,
"No, I'm saying I'd take one for the team.
Filler.
I'd take one for the team with her."
He's not wrong. It would be worth it. It would be worth it.
Mm-hmm. We'll just be sure to see if we can have any DDT to hose you down with when you get back.
Oh, dude, I'm just saying, to have that on your kill board, that's totally worth the trip. Especially if you manage to pull off the conversion.
Hold on a second. I fed the dogs and I forgot to give her insulin too. I might have to pop over here. I might have to take about 5 minutes here, guys, and go get my dog her meds.
Well, you didn't hear when she was over in Moo's house with her distress toy going squeak, squeak, squeak?
Yeah, no, I think that was Ghost, wasn't it? Wasn't that your pup squeaking?
Yeah, how is Zoe?
Oh yeah, she was squeaking earlier. My bad.
Yeah. Oh no, that's cool. I figured it was her.
She's squeaking right. She's squeaking right now, as a matter of fact.
Good puppy.
Let me.
Oh,
there you go.
Battle.
Oh yeah.
She's got pretty colors too.
Yeah, she's
nice.
She's a silver, and they're not the most common, So
yeah. Foss says, I don't think Tulsi Gabbard is that attractive. She has small teeth.
Well, what do you expect from a man who has Danger Mouse as his mascot? He likes those big buck teeth.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me get a look.
Snaggletooth.
It's been a little while.
Here's what I'm going to do. You guys want to Shit, I should go up there. I should get her medicine to her so she doesn't take too long.
Just go, bro.
We'll hold the fort for you.
I'll be right back. You guys hold down the fort, okay?
Yeah, we'll sing till you get back.
Knives is telling Ghost to flip a coin.
Okay.
About what?
Everybody think.
I don't know. That's all the context he gave us.
Flip a coin?
Yeah, flip a coin, Ghost.
Heads.
AC97 out in the chat. Pew Pew Park. Defense Dad.
Pew Pew Park.
So we're talking earlier about
Patron in the Dark. Defense Dad. Mr. Knives.
Nobody said anything about Chelsea. No one cares about
Did
Chelsea.
you get a link or did Midnight not send you one?
Huh?
Eh?
Edge. You know Edge. I know Edge.
Yeah.
I know it.
Oh, I'm not looking at the chat. I thought you were talking to us.
No.
I was like, I'm pretty sure all of us got the link if we're here.
Edge
There
is
was
out
a link?
there. I'll go send Edge a link.
She's kind of got the crater face thing going on.
So, Moo, were you getting ready to say something earlier?
Oh, I was just reflecting back on when we were talking about how potential candidates handle the question like about Kamala smoking some weed, and I went back to Clinton, where how long did that go on? Where he said he never inhaled, at first he wasn't even there, and then he didn't inhale. I mean, it was just
He didn't touch it.
Yeah, it was going on forever.
That was a sign of the times back though in 1992.
Yeah, it's like denied. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, but he wasn't looking at her.
Bill Clinton was a lawyer, and so he followed lawyer process. And the reality of it is, a lawyer would be a great candidate for the rescue of the Republican Party.
Let's be honest, and this is going to upset the people. I've said this before, but let's just be honest. If Bill Clinton was still eligible to be elected today, he would be.
Yeah,
by a large margin.
Absolutely,
by a large margin.
I voted.
He's the best politician. Yeah, he's the best politician I've ever seen.
He was more of a Republican than any Republican we've had in the last 20 years.
Yeah, but also you got to remember that everything's been shifting slightly more to the left each year. So yes, 20 years ago, he's more in line with the conservatives today than people out on the fringes of the left are today.
Well, and that's we can say that there's a lot to be said about Trump, good or bad. But what Trump has done is he is a moderate at best, and he has brought the Republican Party to the middle. So he's forced the Democrats to go far left, and that's kind of what Nighthawk was saying. That's what worries me most about anything. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden being projected as the winner.
Nope.
It's the fact that 52 to 53% of America thinks that socialism
is a good idea.
Yep. That's the biggest problem.
And here's the thing, guys. This is the Tytler cycle. This is stuff that we know about. History teaches us this. Once your people figure out that they can vote for whatever candidate's going to promise them the most money, they keep doing it. And they do it until your country is bankrupt. And somebody in the Democratic Party right now, today, will be the one that opens the door to send us Venezuela direction. Because it's a countdown from there. And if you look at the timeline on Venezuela, on Cuba, and all countries.
Venezuela took less than 10 years.
10 years. Yes, sir. And guess what? I'll be 55 years old then. And there won't be crap I'll be able to do to help physically. And the 20-year-olds will be full-bred socialists. And everybody will be handing over their weapons and saying, take us into the next generation. So, get a lawyer for the next election, a lawyer who's had a pretty good history or has enough dirt on everybody else that nobody wants to threaten him, and you run him as a Republican on a pro-marijuana ticket, and we might have a chance.
Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Feiger for president.
There you go.
There's who decriminalized all those drugs.
Oregon.
Was that Oregon?
They decriminalized the use of, but it is still illegal for sale, transportation, or using while operating a motor vehicle.
So I've seen people say that they decriminalized all drug. What did they decriminalize?
Mostly opiates.
Shit.
Yeah, mostly opiates. I do want to say something that the best meme I've seen around that is the one that says, "I want to congratulate drugs for winning the war on drugs."
Yeah, for sure. I saw that too.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and so that's obviously not federally decriminalized, though. It's just in the state. So, I mean, I know Pennsylvania has some places, some cities that decriminalized, marijuana and stuff. It's just a fine. It's like first time it's $50, second time it's $100, third time it's like $200 fine or something. You get busted, but it's like it just as soon as that happened, within a week or two, there was just people openly smoking weed in the streets. You know what I mean? All over the place. It was obvious what happened.
Yeah, but that's the whole effect of, well, I can't drink in my county, but I can go drink over here, and $50. There's like no one's gonna really balk at that too much, other than, but yeah.
I thought you were about to say $50 is $50. I was waiting for the punchline.
$20 is $20.
Right.
No, heck no. Do you have any idea how much you can buy for $50?
Oh yeah, I know.
Ozzy won $20 on Gizzard's Chat today from Nighthawk.
He did actually. I donated it to something somebody else was doing. I can't even remember where it went.
To G Web's van tour to get him out to Wanamaker.
Okay, cool. Oh crap! Is that what that was for? I need to give more money to that.
I thought Fall Wanamaker was closed, or is he doing it for 2020? Okay.
No, they're having it.
Open. Yeah. Yeah, they said, screw you, we're doing it.
They're badasses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
There goes the neighborhood.
Okay.
Shit.
Everybody,
before anybody asks him, we need
to... Midnight for the show. Guys, everyone have a good night.
Roll call 2024. Here it comes, everybody.
Roll call. Show everyone the door right now.
No, I can't stay on too long. I've been out in chat messing around. I gotta go to court tomorrow, so I got all kinds of bullshit I gotta deal with.
Well, what's his name that you're fighting paternity for?
Unfortunately, somebody used the firearm that was sold in our place. So it's gonna suck.
I thought maybe you beat the shit out of the guy that took your trail cameras.
I don't think he'll get beat up. I think it'll go the other way. I think it'd be much worse for him.
Look, roll call. There is absolutely no shame in this year of our Corona 2020 and 2021 of having your wife beat up a man who stole your shit.
Honey, the guy's here.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think Cindy'd bite your throat out if you mess with her.
My God, that was cold.
Why do you think she always
just because roll call's here? I'm making popcorn right now for roll call.
So I just want to throw my 2 cents into the ring, which
Go ahead.
is more like a half a penny, but I look at it this way, man. There was 3 deciding factors that we watched. First of all, it was coronavirus. And I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, don't say that. Make up some word. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm a YouTuber that says everything that's on his mind, whether it's right or wrong, or you disagree with it or you agree with it. I think that was one of the biggest deciding factors of not getting people out to go vote.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
The next thing was mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots were one of the. They've been doing mail-in ballots since I was conceived, probably. But when you make it easier for people to vote, where they just sit down at the kitchen table, fill it out, drop it in their mailbox, and think, well, it's going to be fine. That's one thing you have to look at. These people don't have to leave their house. They barely leave their house as is at times. So you have to factor in that they made it so much easier to vote. And the last thing is Trump did himself in. We watched that man implode before he got on the first debate, all the way down the line. I believe he did himself in. I truly do believe that. Now, am I saying never question your government? You should always question your government. You should always put them under the microscope. But in the end, I think those are three of the biggest factors that factor into this. Now, am I not saying there's fraud? Yeah, I think there's always fraud in elections. There is. But I think that guy is his own worst enemy. If he would have shut up, did the things that he had to do, say the things that he had to say, went on that first debate and acted like he did in the second debate, I think that would have changed. I think it would drastically have changed people's opinions slightly. But he acted like a total goof. He gets on the interwebs and acts like a goofball.
Nobody got mad when he was beating on Hillary Clinton. We hired him to do that job, but everybody all of a sudden got all butthurt when he beat up old man Biden. So, I mean, the fact that we were mad about that is on us, not him. He treats every problem like a nail. He always has. Donald Trump is a hammer.
Well, at the same time, you're given the objectivity of the media being unbiased or fair, and they never were. They never were going to be. So you could do whatever you want. You could solve world peace and blah 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 and all this shit, and he would never get credit for it. So I mean, I hear what you're saying, but it's an old saying. People say like, I'm about this close to writing you off. Well, I just wrote you off because you're a dickhead because I don't want to be around you anyway.
Right.
So how pissed is Hillary Clinton right now? She's sitting there going, I couldn't beat this fool, but Creepy Joe can.
Mumbling.
She's got to be questioning everything about herself.
Mumbling it. Pass his way through.
Well, with the whole media thing back in 2016 was, they were following the money. What makes us the most money? Oh shit! There's this way out there crazy ass guy that everybody knows that's freaking famous, who is running for president. We're going to give him airtime. We're going to, really ham this up. And people went, oh, okay, yeah. And when they do, oh, shit, he won. I know. We can make people hate him, or we can drum up more money by getting people to hate him. It's all bullshit, and it's bad for you.
Yeah, it backfired, and they're like, holy shit, we just got him elected by giving him all this free publicity. Robert Reynolds is out there. Voting is a right, not a privilege. Why should rights be hard to use? That was actually, I don't know if you were in here when I kind of posed that question earlier. But one of the things that Roll Call said, too, was, mail-in ballots. I think, and I'll look at this as two different ways. I think as long as mail-in ballots are done properly, I think mail-in ballots to get more people to vote is good for the system. I think it's good because it does give more. It's going to give more people a voice, and I think it'll probably be a truer representation of what people want or who they want, because I think you will get more votes if you do make it a little easier. But I think it needs to be handled properly so that, if you want a ballot, you request it. If you request it, it has to be verified. It has to be done properly so that we know people that use them are as close to properly as you can get, verified or whatever. I don't think just mailing a bunch of fucking ballots to people, whether they want them or not, I think that's crazy.
I think Nevada mailed one to every citizen in the state of Nevada. I think they sent one to every single person. Now, I'll bring up something I said on Budgets Chat the other night. This is a thought. If we're going to do election reform, make Election Day a national holiday. So at that point, no one has to worry about trying to. First of all, you can't be fired for voting anyways. But let's just take that all completely out. Election Day is a national holiday. Do your thing.
Can I point something out that I keep hearing that is actually kind of heartbreaking. So we're a lot smarter than to say that voting is a right, because it's not. Okay, it's not a right in any way, shape, or form. And as a matter of fact, it's not constitutionally defended in its base form. So the original founding fathers didn't want you to vote. They thought you were too dumb to vote. Okay. Now, later on, there were some amendments specifically targeting voting to prevent certain behaviors. When we look at the 15th Amendment, you couldn't deny people the right to vote based on race. The 19th Amendment banned voting on the basis of sex, right? And so, but still, there's nothing that says you are guaranteed the right to vote for anything. Okay? So that goes for citizens, non-citizens, criminals, et cetera, on down the line. So it's not really a constitutional right. It is a privilege that we have as citizens of the United States to vote in a United States election.
Would you consider voting a part of freedom of speech?
No, it's not. As a matter of fact, there's specific legal arguments.
I'm just asking you. I'm not arguing. I'm just asking you. So there are some people that will argue that, and it's not.
Yeah. Well, it's been specifically addressed in multiple legal arguments. And when you look at how the Bill of Rights works and things of that nature, talking about the core rights of citizens, so freedom of speech, free assembly, and things of that nature does not give you specific right to choose your leadership. Okay, none of those things have anything to do. The freedom of speech just prevents you from not being able to speak out against your leadership. Is the main target of that.
Okay. So how has it become? And I mean, I know you hear in the Constitution or Bill of Rights or whatever, of by and for the people. When they use the term by the people, doesn't that imply that, the people as a whole get to vote for who they want? Or, you know what I mean?
Yes, if you are a member of the people, you absolutely get that privilege. And that's what's critical about what I'm talking about, is we're specifically talking about the fact that in our country, there's this giant dispute about whether or not we should ID people, whether or not we should make all these fancy requirements around making it harder to vote. And I think voting should be an extraordinarily difficult and detailed process. It should be more difficult than filling out a 4473. You should have to prove without a shadow of a doubt that you are a citizen of this country, because it is not a right. You can't go vote in Europe. You can't go vote in Mexico. You can't go vote in Canada. It is not a God-given right, like your right to self-protection, like your right to defend yourself. Those are God-given rights that we have, whether or not it's written down somewhere or not. You have a privilege to vote and a duty to vote as a member of this United States. And so verifying that you are indeed that human being should be a primary process in our election process.
Patriot, Patriot. If I think I sent you a link, hop on if you can, buddy. Because I mean, it's really hard. It sucks going through the text chat. It's really hard to go through the text chat to sort of have these conversations that are so all over the place. I mean, hop in if you can, buddy.
Want to interrupt real quick and say I like titties.
I do too. Totally.
I mean, I'm more of a face man, but
you
are
would
definitely
be
next on the list.
You would be.
Yeah, you're good, male, female. I get it. Okay, anyway.
I was going to say, in Iraq, when people vote over there, they use their little thumbprint to make sure that they're who voted and stuff.
Yep.
Preferably female titties, just to articulate that.
Oh, there you go.
Wait. Only female? I'm sorry, Edge. The date's off.
I have a spectacular set here. Are you sure? You don't want to go back on that?
I don't know.
I mean, I could wax them for you if you like.
Thicker than man boobies and them hangers. Let me see it.
Are yours real, Nighthawk? Are they real?
They are real, actually. Yeah,
and they're spectacular.
All right, so and Patriot, unless you want to hop in or whatever, I think we're gonna change the situation because not the situation, change the topic because we beat it up pretty good, I think. And Ghost, I said I got something cool in the mail.
That's the only reason why I'm here, you jackhole.
I know, and that's why I didn't tell you right away, because I thought if I showed you, maybe you'd take off, and then we wouldn't have you in the chat. And I like to have you in the chat.
I'm
So I was
just
like,
messing with you. I love
I thought he was here because of me.
if I show him, this fucker is going to take off. So I ordered a T-shirt from Dave Bray.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, man.
Nice.
Right, and it's got this on the sleeve. It's kind of cool,
Nice.
like a little Gadsden.
Mm-hmm.
And if you order a T-shirt from him, be careful because they do run a little small. So I'm just telling you. And he sent
You
it.
just keep telling yourself that, man.
No, it's a little.
So basically, if you order a 3X, you got to order a 4X.
It's an Asian fit.
Yeah, it says that it's fitted, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's just not going to be like, no, it's they run a little small. They are really nice, though. They're super smooth, soft. And he sent the CD, but I tagged a couple of people, Patriot and Ghost and stuff. What else it came with? He did a show he was on Iwo Jima with, and I guess played. I don't know if it was the whole band or not, but he was doing.
I saw that. That's pretty cool. That Instagram post you were talking about. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So it's sand from Iwo Jima in a little jar with the Marine emblem on it and stuff. So I was like, that's super cool, man, because I wanted to order a T-shirt anyway, and I was like, holy shit, I should definitely order a T-shirt and get that. So so I got a little cool little Marine thing here. So I thought that was
awesome.
Neat.
Very cool. Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you see that? I said fried garbage. That's funny being on the side chat. Okay.
Patriot, you might need to clear the cache for your text to speech.
I say we use the right pointer finger. Once you vote, it's cut off. Yeah, I heard you say that the other day. That would clear up all this fried garbage.
The longer this goes, the more I like that idea.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to start a rumor, but that sounds like Patriot in the Dark's very anti-gun. I mean, that's just disenfranchising gun people because you're removing their trigger finger.
I can shoot with my middle finger. I've had to do it before.
Yeah,
but you're disenfranchising people.
Are we still talking about shooting guns, or is it some odd sexual reference?
With Patriot in the Dark, it can go either way.
Yeah, he'll send me a sticker for the sand. No, I like the sand now. This shit's like crazy because it's it's like volcanic. It's like
obsidian.
Pebbles. It actually it's about the size of I don't know, I want to say cat litter or something, but I can imagine walking on it with bare feet wouldn't be all that comfortable. Somebody actually said in the comments of a thing video or something, they said it's like trying to run. It's like trying to run in melted marshmallows if you run in it because it's so weird.
Nice.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Great. Now I want Rice Krispie bars.
There you go. And while he's out there causing all sorts of trouble, if you haven't done it already, go check out Patriots, and maybe one of you guys can throw a link out for this or whatever. Patriots 1776 project video. It's a really neat thing, and I'm tried to bring it up a lot this week. And what it is he's trying to get people to do videos of somebody that they believe is a hero, a true hero, and not not just somebody that we're politically correct supposed to call heroes just because of the job they do or whatever. But which is fine. I mean, if that's if you think they are, that's fine. But so go over there and check that out. He's got a playlist with a couple of videos in it. He's doing some fun giveaways and stuff like that for people that do it. And I did one. I did one last week, really quick. I feel like I kind of ran out of time, and I did it really quick at work. I kind of felt bad that I did it so kind of low budget and low rent, but and I kind of talked myself into it. I said, you know what? That's not what it's about. It's not about how nice the video is. It's about what you say in the video and who the video is about. So check that out.
I want to give you a shout out. Thank you for honoring me.
Yeah, absolutely. I said, anybody that can fill up a garage like that, he's a hero in my mind. Yep. Foss says he's going to do a video. Yeah, it's a really cool idea. Patriot does a lot of stuff like this. He has these really cool ideas to try and get people to do videos. He did all the blind challenges for, gun takedowns and gun cleaning videos and stuff like that. This is a really neat one too. So if you haven't done one, go do one. You guys, especially, I mean, I would really like to see them from you guys in the military, because I'm sure you guys have an interesting point of view on who you feel might be a hero to you. So check it out. But it'd be really cool to see some people do some, because it's really it's important, get the word out there. So
I watched a movie this week on Netflix, and I had never heard of it before. It's called The Outpost. And I remember the battle. It was Battle of Kamdesh, and it was a little outpost in Afghanistan, and it's the only battle that gave 2 Medal of Honor winners from the same unit in the same battle. So if you're ever on Netflix, it came out like recently. It's called The Outpost. It's really, really good. So go check that out.
Well, you know what's funny? You say that. I was looking, man, I wonder if I saved it. I should have saved it. I was looking up something the other night about Guadalcanal, and damn it, I'm not going to be able to find it now. And it had said that there was more. It was the heading of the little story that they were telling was, it's a who's who of heroes of World War II or something, and it was just, it went through like a bunch of people, like 4 or 5 or more men that were awarded medals of honor or whatever, like all these different. I don't know if it was medals of honor. I shouldn't. I don't know what it was, but
Audie Murphy.
It was all these. No, that wasn't.
No. Audie Murphy was the European theater. But
it was, it was the only. Oh shit! And damn it, I should have left this pulled up. Rambo. He was a. There was somebody that that drove a boat, like one of the landing crafts. He won something, and he was the only sailor to ever win it, or something like that. And he won it, during the landings at Guadalcanal or something. I'll have to look it up quick.
Guadalcanal was one of the most brutal battles there was. So the acts of heroism. Yeah. Knowing that there's no way in hell we should have won that battle. I mean, literally, the numbers, there's no way we win that battle. And just the mere fact that you win that battle, thanks Navy for leaving us, by the way, you're going to see acts of heroism. And they weren't trying to be heroes. They were just trying to survive and go home. Let's be honest. Yeah. But that's the cool thing about it. That's why that generation was so much different. They weren't doing it. Let's not be real. They weren't doing it necessarily for the love of the country. They were doing it for a sense of duty. And then when they were there, they were just trying to get home. Mm-hmm. And that's the crazy thing.
BusinessInsider.com. It's funny. I Googled it and it pulled it up real quick. And it was just 7. It said 7 interesting facts you didn't know about this battle. Well, number 1, every branch of the U.S. military fought in the battle.
That's correct. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, fight's a weird word, because there was one branch that hightailed out of there.
They kind of got their butts handed to them. Let's be real for a minute.
Number 2, the number 2 fact, it was the Coast Guard. It said the only Coast Guard Medal of Honor winner recipient was it was bestowed. The only how is this? This is weirdly written. The only Coast Guard Medal of Honor ever bestowed was for service at Guadalcanal, and it was a signalman Douglas Monroe's last moments while evacuating. It was when they were evacuating Marines. During the landing or whatever. So that was kind of cool. And this one, here's the one I was talking about. It says Guadalcanal's who's who of Marine legends in World War II. Chesty Puller, Gunnery Sergeant John Bastellone.
Bastellone.
Master Gunnery Sergeant Leland Diamond. It says Leland Diamond drove off a Japanese cruiser with a mortar. I don't know that story, but that sounds crazy. Brigadier General Joe Foss won a Medal of Honor and became a fighter ace. So he must have been in the Navy, because they didn't have the Air Force then, right? There wasn't an Air Force, I don't think, at that point.
Army Air Corps.
Army Air Corps. Yeah.
Army Air Corps. Oh, okay.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't get split off until 1947.
Yeah. Guadalcanal was viciously fought at sea, in the air, and on the land. That's in the song. The first landings were helped by the weather. 2 of the carriers lost in the Pacific were lost during the Guadalcanal campaign. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a major turning point in the war because of Henderson Field. That was a big deal with Henderson Field.
The two battles that kind of changed Pacific off were Guadalcanal and Midway.
Yeah, Midway. I was going to say
those 2 right there changed the Pacific realm of World War II for sure.
Yeah. Douglas Albert Monroe. Yeah. John's Life, what's up? He says, got a question. It's unrelated, and that's fine. How bad would one have done for 250 rounds of ammo for $20 and some change in today's? Wait, okay, hold on. How
250
bad
rounds of CCI ammo? So I'm assuming it's 22. Well, CCI only does 22, like 22. All the rimfire stuff, because otherwise it'd be like Spear or Federal.
Well, CCI does some of that birdshot stuff too. Yeah, but okay, that's true. $20 and some change, so $20. Let's say $20 for 250 rounds. I mean,
that's about normal prices, honestly.
Well, not for 250 rounds. I mean, that's a little high. But
I was able to get these. Yeah, not right. Not. That's not terribly high, bro. Yeah. Like about you could get it for $4 or $5. Is what we were getting it for. CCI. Are we talking about mini mag, or are we just talking about CCI? Just the crap CCI.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I saw 22 going for normal prices. Last time I was at like Academy or something here, but it's been a while and it's just touch and go. It's very fluid. But I'm never gonna pay freaking $25 for a box of the 9mm white box.
Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
I would pay $20. I would pay $20 right now for 250 rounds of CCI 22 LR in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
it's not as. Oh yeah, CCI. That's always been a bit of a premium.
When things
then again, I can't find it anyway, so I'd greatly go for that.
Supply and demand.
I think I paid $19 or something for 500 rounds last time I bought 22, and it was a couple months ago, but it was before prices really went bananas. It was just that the prices hadn't gone up so much. It was just that availability was starting to really become non-existent.
I have something like 20,000 rounds of 22, and I think there's probably $60 in half of that. Originally when it was purchased.
Those big Remington buckets you can get back in the day.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
1,400 or something, right? Aren't they 1,400 rounds, something like that?
Yep, they were nothing.
Yeah.
Freedom buckets.
But they were also
the crazy
thing. Seconds in that as well.
Yeah. The crazy thing is there are people that are not having problems finding 22 or 9 in some places. I haven't seen 22 or 9 in probably 6 months.
It's popping up where I live in San Antonio. But it's like they'll put it on Facebook. Hey, we just got like 10 boxes or 20 boxes, so come and get it. And within 20 minutes, I post, you're like, it's all gone.
So everybody knows the Academy secret, right?
Tell them
my Academy's out of it.
Repeat it.
Well, Academy gets deliveries 3 days a week, and if you can figure out when those deliveries are and you show up, you can get ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, they're not jacking the price of it up.
Our Academy hasn't had ammo in 4.5 months, so they're not getting deliveries.
They're not getting any deliveries? Because that's what I thought too, until I figured out that you had to show up at 7 a.m. and get in line because it's gone. By the moment the store opens, it's gone. So that would be different if they're not getting deliveries. But
back during the election in 2016, people were like getting in line at Walmart, and standing in line, they're getting in the fucking fisticuffs because there'd be like a guy like, yeah, I want my, they're limiting like 2 boxes or 1 box. And I want my 5 boxes. And the guy behind him said, hey, motherfucker, I got to go to work. I don't just go to my mailbox for a check. And then sure enough, there you go.
During the 2013, 2014 ammo shortage, I worked at Dunham's, and every week that we got a truck, it was the same 5 guys in there, and I mean they would wait hours for us to get to the ammo.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'd mess with them. I would just like wait until like 5 minutes before closing time, just let them sit there all day, just messing with them.
But yeah, they're literally here in my hometown. They're bringing the ammo on a cart to the front door, and we're all waiting there in line, and you just walk by and grab whatever you're allowed to grab, and all of the ammunition that comes in that week is gone the same day it comes in instantly. If you weren't in line at 7 a.m., you didn't have a snowball's chance of getting ammo.
And luckily, luckily and unluckily, because I haven't gone shooting probably in almost about 9 or 10 months. The rounds I do have behind me are just sitting there, 223, probably less than 1,000 rounds, but right under there. And 9mm, probably a couple hundred, and 945, probably a couple hundred as well. And I just haven't gone to shoot it, man. But now it's like you're sitting on gold,
Yeah, I switched to rounds that most people don't need. I'm only reviewing weapons that are in 45 and 12 gauge right now to kind of take a little stress off of people that actually need 9mm and some of the other calibers.
This might chat people the wrong way, but when I see people like Honest Outlaw and all these people doing, it's a good channel too. But it's just me. Maybe it's like some people say, like, I would never buy a truck with the V6 or even EcoBoost or whatever. I'm a V8 guy. Well, when it comes to buying 1911, there's only one caliber or 2 calibers I would buy. 45 and 10mm. I'm never going to buy a 9mm 1911. And I see people spending $4,000 on like custom ones. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't have a high dollar 1911 that'll run hollow points consistently. Not
well, you have bad hollow points.
Yeah, it must be it.
I got my pair that has a ramp on my P13, and then I have double stack, and then I have my Citadel 1911 that has a good throat job on the cone, and it does well. It doesn't have any issues.
Holy hell! Just for breaking news here, ladies, gentlemen, and Jonases of all ages, a wild Smeggy has appeared in the chat.
Wow!
And you know what? What's funny is a couple years ago, before I got into reloading, I did the same thing that he's talking about. He says I was all set to reload thousands of rounds, but my dad helped me by scrapping the brass for $30. I did the same thing before I started getting into reloading. I was saving brass just to save brass because my father-in-law reloads, and I was saving a bunch of 40 and 9mm. I was shooting 40 and 9mm.
You want brass hawks at the range? Here you go, buddy. I got
it. Yeah. So I was like, well, you know what? I'll save it and then I'll give it to him, And I had this, basically it was a grocery bag full of 40 and some 9mm. And it was like barely could get the top tied. You know what I mean? It was damn pretty full. And I just was sitting on it. It was laying around. And then I found out he didn't really want the 40. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to scrap it. I was like, I'll scrap it. And then I started reloading like 6 months later. And I think I got like $15 for it or something like that. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like my stupid ass. I mean, how I could have traded it. You know what I mean? I could have traded it to somebody but it was before I was doing this, Yeah. Now it was like, if I had 1,000 brass, casings or something, I'm sure I could find somebody to take it and trade for loaded ammo or trade for something,
There's a couple of kids out here that scavenge the police ranges, and that's why I buy brass off of them by the thousands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was going to say, I understand that Smeggy was annihilated by G-Web's dog, so he no longer is with us.
No, I don't think it was G-Web's dog per se. I think it's just that he got chased far enough south where he melted.
Mm-hmm.
His response of, we can just buy new stuff and shoot it so you have brass. He obviously hasn't seen price.
Oh, wait, this was recently? This wasn't like a couple years ago?
Yeah,
that's
like, a bummer, man.
Okay, Dad, you're out of my well. Wait, what? That doesn't work that way?
And what sucks too is if it still has all the primers in it and stuff, they consider it it's dirty brass, and you don't get as much for it either. Yeah, it sucks. As you can get fucked on it worse if you don't pop the primers out.
Well, you got to remember, most metal recyclers will give you the lowest possible price possible.
Well,
so that they think they can get away with for any metal.
There are ranges that won't even let you shoot that aluminum or steel case shit. They're like, no, it has to be all brass because they want to keep it. All the rounds that fall on the floor, all the case rounds that fall on the floor are theirs for the keeping.
I was listening. Somebody on here was, I don't remember whose chat it was, a couple of weeks ago. They were saying that their range has it's like grates, and when your brass falls, it just falls straight through. And I was like, that's pretty crazy to think. You know what I mean? You're standing on top of not chicken wire or something, but grating so that
expanded mesh.
Yeah, you can't even get it, even if you wanted to. It just falls straight down.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of indoor ranges up in the cities. One that does full auto on that. Yeah, they've got that expanded metal, and they will only let you shoot their ammunition in their range. So they're getting you coming and going.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That really sucks. I don't have an issue with them telling you what kind of ammo or what type of ammo. Some places don't want it, you shooting the penetrators or anything the green tips or something like that because their backstops. But for them to make you buy ammo there, I think that's their business model though. They can do whatever they want.
Well, it's up in the metro area where they keep closing down outdoor ranges because this city council is passing a new ordinance or new noise thing. So it's for as much as we might bitch about, these people are, at least an actual brick and mortar FFL to where it's oh, wait, what do you mean Joe was able to get online sales gone? Fuck.
Mm-hmm. That was back in 2012 when my buddy who had a membership to an indoor range, run-outs range, they lock you in. You get in there, it's like a fucking shit door of a it looks like
bulkhead.
Bulkhead they're putting you in, they steer you in, and you're in there with the range master, and we'd sneak a box once every now and then, but you had to buy what's called wind clean ammo, and 45. Me and him one shot 45 at the time, and a box of 45 was $30 for a 50 pack, a wind clean, and it's dang, Mind you, all the cars are usually parked in that parking lot were Mercedes and Jaguars and such, but he had membership. They give you a discount on the ammo, but you have to buy their ammo. You can, if you get caught smuggling ammo, they give you a warning once, and then they kick you out the next time you cancel your membership.
Yeah.
The range I go to, what they call it, the guy has, those old lawnmowers that push more, but instead it has a little cage or something. So when you go over the ammo ground, it picks it up.
Oh, the bird cage on a stick.
And then you just empty it in a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket and stuff. When I go shooting, I collect the brass, and sometimes if I see brass on the ground, I'll get it if it's something that I want. The only thing I won't do is if it's in a bucket already, how they dispose in the bucket, I'll leave that by itself and stuff. I believe the indoor range that Matt would go to, they had a policy that if the brass touches the floor, it's the range's brass. But if you shoot and it hits the table, then you can collect that one. But if it hits the ground, the range collects that brass.
Yeah, I shoot outside, so it's can I find my brass?
Yeah. My my uncle's always bitching because they when he mows the grass up at our camp, my cousin shoots his buddies shoot up there. He's always bitching. He's like, "Hey, goddamn 30-06 shells move pretty quick when you hit them with a mower, man. I'll tell you what. You gotta watch out." Oh yeah, he's like, "Yeah, you gotta watch out, man. Once those things catch a mower, boy, they take off." He's like, "Yeah,
it's a live round."
yeah.
Hey, Midnight, you got Smeg's email?
No, I have to check. I don't get a notification. That's fine. I can take a look though.
Yeah, it's the same thing like when you mow the lawn and the grass is real high and you run over an empty beer can and it shoots out through the side vent of the lawnmower. It spins like a ninja star.
I didn't get an email from Smeggy. If he wants a link and you can shoot him a link. I thought I did email him a link, but I can.
I have to finally cut my lawn because I was trying to not cut it and because I'm lazy, but give that whole Halloween effect. Mm-hmm. And then I don't have to actually cut the motherfucker.
Yeah.
You finally just took the blowtorch to it and said, hell with it?
Well, it's like taking the Christmas lights in August down. That's about time.
In August.
There you go, Smeg.
Mind you, they've been there for 4 years.
All right. So let me find where I was again. Okay. So everybody's, a lot of people saw this on Jeopardy the other day. It said in a weapons types category on the quiz show, an answer was bolt action, AR, also called modern sporting rifle. To which also called modern sporting, to which a contestant buzzed in and said, "What is an assault rifle?" Yes, Alex. The thing is, it was so obviously they were looking for rifle, not
assault.
Assault rifle. So I think somebody got pissed. Somebody must have got super pissed
because killed Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek is dead now.
Is that where this is going?
Wait. I thought Alex Trebek was one of those animatronics that Walt Disney made before he died.
I'm not saying he did it, but Night Strike just took off, right? Before I started talking.
Yeah.
So,
look, Night Strike would not have to take off to go kill someone. We all know he's got his murder bots in storage in his backyard. Right behind his back. That's why you can never hit it.
The problem with that is they don't work half the time.
Well, they only have to work once.
That's true.
Well, they're all gay. So.
That makes them incapable of killing why? You've never met Roro, have you?
We ran to the grocery store. My son and I ran to the grocery store today a little bit, and we were walking in one of the side aisles. I walked past and I was like, "Oh, there's Marty," and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "There's a robot." And he stopped and he started staring at it. And he just stared at it, and I kept walking. I started walking away, and I looked back, and he was still staring at it. He did not trust that. He's like, "I think it's after us." I was like, "Yeah, we better get moving. We better get going."
So, how are you going to explain that to the social worker? Have you worked that out yet? Your son's not sleeping, sir, because you told him killer robots were coming.
Yeah. Yeah, he thinks robots are going to get him. Where would he get such an idea? I have no idea. He just saw that motherfucker and he was like, "I don't trust that guy."
That's crazy, dude.
All right. I admit it. I thought I changed the password on the Netflix account. I came into his room and he was watching Terminator.
Oh, that'll do it. That'll screw him up. What's up, Smeggy? Smeggy.
Yeah, he's got a red bar.
Oh, yeah, he might be. He might be crapped out there. Hopefully, it's not on my.
Dude, I'm botting like insanely. So I don't know if you guys can hear me or anything.
Yep, we can hear you now.
For those
four, we can hear you.
What's up, Snowman? And he gone.
That's all right. We'll see if he tries again. No big deal. So here's something cool too. We'll run this through the room.
Which cheese makes the best grilled cheese? Yay!
Hands down.
Hands down.
Significant following of people right now within some culinary wings talking about the fact that cheese has been classified as having the same stimulant effect as crack cocaine on the human brain.
Well, it should.
Yeah, on his brain.
Well, we think of Michigan people as pure and beautiful, but it turns out they're just a bunch of junkies. They're just like
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Hey, you.
So I saw this.
I'm so
came
stop robotic just in time for you to make fun of it again.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to. I mean, you guys have like two different states mushed into one.
It's not our fault that we got in a war with Ohio and Wisconsin lost.
Well, look. I mean,
It's
did you really want?
if you lose war?
Did you really want the Port of Toledo?
No, not at all. That's what I'm saying, man. We won that on both fronts. You're like, wait, you're going to give us all of the UP and you want Toledo? Are you sure?
Yeah, we already have a shithole or two. We don't need Toledo.
Now, to be fair, Detroit wasn't always a shithole. It's just mostly been a shithole.
Yeah, but you always got Flint.
Yeah. Didn't
Flint
Trump
really on fire? It's still smoldering, though.
So what's up, Smegs? What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not too much. Just living the dream.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about? What made you hop in?
Oh, all this reloading stuff. I mean, yeah, obviously you had read my comment out loud that my dad was helping me. And I get it, dude. He doesn't really know. Like, it is what it is, but half of it, I mean, it was my fault. I left the stuff in Michigan when I moved out here, so whatever. They're trying to like clean up my house and sold a bunch of my stuff, which, like I said, that part was helpful. But he's like, "Oh yeah, I took the stuff to the scrapyard. I got like $30 for it." I'm like, "Wow, that's like 2 boxes of ammo, and I know I have thousands of rounds."
That sucks.
I almost said my smart ass was kicking in high gear, but I was almost like, "Oh, did you take those 5,000 lead projectiles and return that for $5 in scrap?" I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if you're taking metal back for scrap, I got a whole bunch of lead sitting right there.
You better hide your crap.
Yeah.
He lives in my house right now, so my parents just recently sold their house, so they're renting mine until they find a place to live.
My wife's parents just did the same thing, and I laughed so hard, and she was like, "What's so funny?" I said, "Baby, have you looked at the housing market? People are paying 6 times what houses are worth in some areas. They're going to be upside down in their mortgages with a great interest rate."
Mm-hmm.
I have a $250,000, $97,000 house at less than 3% interest.
Yeah. So we'll run this one through the room. I came across this Rossi Rio Bravo rimfire lever action light rifle with polymer furniture. Look at this guy here. I think the front sight's a little bit weird, but other than that,
well, now is it a fiber optic sight set?
Yeah, looks.
Yeah, I can. So you got to have light put it to the side for it to actually work. Otherwise, it's just,
What is an assault rifle, Alex?
Yeah. So I wanted to hate this right away because it's like sacrilege, right? To have all that plastic on a nice lever action. But when I saw the picture of it, I thought, you know what? It's pretty nice looking. It's pretty cool looking.
It doesn't look that bad.
You know what? If it was stainless, I would say, okay, I can accept this as an all-weather rifle. But blued and black or in polymer,
It doesn't look that bad. I'm not into lever actions, and that looks pretty cool.
I keep a lever action shotgun in my car.
Cool.
It's actually pretty fast. It's actually faster than my pump action.
Yeah,
can you spin around like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2?
That would break the crap out of your hand.
Yeah, and Arnold almost did that on the set. Yet to press prop gun.
Yeah, that would definitely break your hand. It is heavy, and the lever does not flex that easily.
It's got a crossbolt safety too. You can see it in that picture.
Yeah, it's a BB gun.
So yeah, I don't like. I mean, I think other than that front sight kind of makes it weird for me. Like that front sight's pretty monstrous. But other than that, I think I could get behind it.
Is this supposed to be like a hooded front sight? I can't tell.
It's a fiber optic. Yeah, it is kind of hooded. It's like skeletonized hooded, I guess. I don't know how you describe it. If that makes any sense.
So they advertise this thing as kind of a ratting rifle, so it must have some degree of precision with that optic. So,
yeah, I don't know. Captain Cripple Nipple, what's going on? It's 243 versus either 270 o'clock. Yeah, when you start getting the mag, even the short mags, they punch pretty hard. They can. The guys out there saying 243. 243s. I mean, my cousin used to hunt 243 for whitetail. He would go between. Actually, he would go between 270 and 243. Actually, 270 is a really flat shooting round, though. I mean, for what it is, but it's gonna recoil more than the 243.
Yeah, those 243. It's fairly flat shooting as well. I mean, with 243, you can load it up light. I mean, we used to do it years ago for prairie dog and coyote, or you can use some of the medium weight to heavier weight bullets. And, as long as you can connect with deer, you're.
We look at right now, which one can you find more plentiful? One, just in general, and two, variety of ammo. And then I think cost-wise, 243 might be just a hair cheaper during normal market prices, because choosing between the two, they're both great for deer.
He says he has a scoped 22-250, but been told anything less than neck or headshot you won't kill. Yeah, anything in the. I mean, the 22-250 is fast. I mean, it's definitely got a lot of.
Yeah, a lot of get up and go, but the hypervelocity rounds for those are usually the thinner jacketed bullets. So, looked into or 22-250. You can. Is it ideal? Probably not, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a pretty firm believer that you should use a fair caliber to hunt with. I think and that's kind of the same thing with, like, I'm not a coyote hunter. I never hunted coyotes, but I know guys that talk about shooting them with like 17 caliber and stuff like that. The same thing. It's not a whole lot of bullet. If your shot isn't super precise, you get a little bit of wind. 17 around pretty bad because it's so light. I don't know. I'm very against taking shots that aren't that are sketchy and hunting with too small of a caliber, because I don't want to see animals wounded and take off. I think that's immoral.
Yeah, I'm that exact same way. So going back to your first question, I'm going to say 270 just because my buddy got a real nice 6-point with his 270.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I never shot it or anything, so I don't know. I haven't shot either of those. So that's my only input is that my buddy has one and he used it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I just same way with as you are, right? I'd rather err on the side of caution as far as like humane. So, I don't have millions of guns. So when I want a hunting rifle, I just went with 30-06. I figure that's going to be good enough for pretty much anything in North America, whatever I decide to go hunting with. And then as I get more, then I'll start specializing in, okay, this will be like, my up north whitetail. This will be if I'm in the mountains. This will be if I'm out, whatever. If I start traveling to do stuff, maybe you need different types.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I cut somebody off there. I think.
Nope.
Maybe not. Okay. So saw this on Facebook or not Facebook, Instagram, and pulled it up. Couple of things with this. AOC suggests supporters make a list of posts from Trump sycophants. Faces backlash. And originally, what people are saying is, that she wants just a list of. She wanted to make a list of, people that voted for Trump. And her post here on the Twitters said, "Is anyone archiving these Trump sycophants for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? I foresee decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, photos in the future." So I think maybe she's not even – I don't know that she's smart enough to realize that what she said can be construed really badly. Maybe she's not that bright. Making lists of people. Crazy. Yeah, making lists of people, keeping track of who voted for who and who likes what and who does this and who does that, who owns something or doesn't own something, who's married. You know what I mean? Like who you're married to and your sexual orientation, all this. Maybe she's too dumb to realize that that's super un-American, or maybe she just doesn't care. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of both. So I don't know if you guys saw that one or not.
No, I haven't seen it. This is the first.
Yeah, this is the first I'm seeing it. But to me, it kind of just looks like she's saying, keep track of the tweets for then, kind of call out hypocrisy in the future, right? It's not necessarily, hey, let's keep track of these people as bad people, but more when people try and go back in time, delete their tweets and be like, I never supported him. I don't like him, but well, wait a minute. What about all this shit when you just said that he's the best ever?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think
anything. I'm just going to play devil's advocate. I don't think it's as bad as it may be portrayed as.
I totally agree, and that's kind of why I started off when I said when I saw it on Instagram, it was AOC suggests keeping lists of Trump voters or Trump supporters. And I thought, wow, that's a really shitty thing. That's a really shitty thing to suggest, And now and then, when I looked it up and found what she actually typed, I thought, oh, maybe that's not what she wants. Maybe she's just really dumb. Maybe she's dumb and doesn't realize that what she's saying is
you're not wrong.
Could be construed as something really bad. So and there's a bunch of they're talking about it, and some are saying that it's really bad and what she's doing is horrible, and some people are, I'm not going to get into it. I just thought it was interesting, and I thought it was good to pull up because of the way that some people are trying to portray what she said, and I think maybe she's just special and doesn't know what she's saying.
Yeah, I mean, what's that like Ben Shapiro quote? He normally says it about Trump of like, don't what is it? Like, don't contribute to malice, which could just be like incompetency or whatever.
Right.
Like don't assume that they're these evil geniuses. Like, it's probably just being dumb and probably shouldn't have said that.
Cripple Nipple says, is scoping a 30-30 blasphemy? No, I don't think so. Even though
it depends on the scope you're putting on it.
Yesterday's pomade is saying yes. I think there's two ways I look at it. When I hunted with a 30-30 open sights. My cousin had a 30-30 with scope on it. And I always when I was young, I thought, and I was like, man, I wish I had a scope on my 30-30 just because I thought it was cool. But there's a couple of determining factors. Your eyesight, whether you need a scope or not. Like some people actually need a scope because they have a hard time seeing. Others, and another thing is how are you using the gun? Is it a brush gun? Is it really thick where you hunt? Or are you going to be taking any long shots? And if you're planning on taking some fairly long shots, 30-30 might not be your best bet anyway. Because there is an awful lot of drop with a 30-30 after you get out past 150 yards. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say it's only good for at least like up to maybe a couple 100 yards.
Yeah, I was after 150 yards, they're going to probably start to drop off. So if you're going to be taking those 200-yard shots, that's probably not the best bet anyway. And unless that's your only option, if that's your only option, if that's the only hunting rifle you own, if you're going to take that kind of shot, I would say you're going to need to scope it. The only thing you have to watch out for is if you have a 30-30 now and you want to scope it, you got to be careful with the ejection of the rounds, depending on how your spent casings eject. I've seen rifles where they'll work the action and the spent casing will start to come out and it'll hit the scope and it'll like pop and it'll fall back down in. And then could be kind of a wonky malfunction if that brass casing falls in there maybe straight up and down or something and gets really weird or starts to, it's in there cattywampus. I don't know. But
that'd be mostly on like the 94 or the 92 pattern rifles with the top eject. Stuff like the Marlins or the Henrys where it's a side ejected.
Right.
It'd be like pretty much like a semi-auto even. It's just go.
Mm-hmm. You got to watch out too with the hammer too, because sometimes you got to make sure you get the right rings too, the right height rings, because the hammer can get in the way. And then I know my cousin had a hammer
extender,
if you want to call it I was going to say an extension. Yeah. So it was like a knurled piece of steel that was like a cylinder and it stuck out from the side. And that way it gave you some real estate to get your thumb on that to cock it. But I don't know. I think it's nice.
Look, Marlin sends that little hammer extender with pretty much any lever gun they make. So,
Oh, do they now? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they've been for quite a while. I've got one one that was made in '82. Came with a hammer extender on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's in the little bag of stuff next to the lock usually. And Smeggy, that puppy needs a belly rub.
If you can get him to lay down, he's playing with sticks. See how big the stick is? I mean, it's
like a little matchstick, and he's just like, "Hey,
you know what? We normally throw. Even that piece is too big. I literally would normally throw something like this.
He actually brings it back to you. He doesn't just like munch it down.
Sometimes he'll drop it, but most of the time, yeah, he normally just eats it. But he'll bring that little guy back to me. We've been playing with it all day so far. All night.
So, from Ammo Land, twice as many children die from glass tabletop accidents as firearm accidents. July, this is USAAmmoland.com on 26 July 2020. A paper titled "Glass Table Injuries: A Silent Public Health Problem" was published in an American Journal of Surgery. The paper detailed the examination of how many accidents involving glass tables occurred in the U.S., how severe the injuries from such accidents were, and the distribution of injuries by age. The annual number of fatalities from accidents involving glass tables was projected to be about 400. Most people do not consider glass tables to be a significant risk. 400 deaths sounds like a lot. It is about 0.13 per 100,000 out of a total of 731.9 per 100,000 total. 400 is 0.00018 of the total number of deaths in a nation each year. So it's pretty crazy. They're just saying how many.
What I need to know is what is that in percentage of glass tables? You know what I mean? Because you just said it's less than firearms, and yet we know about how many firearms we have in this country. Theoretically, it's 50% of the houses have one, right? So if that's the case, then I'm trying to think of how many people I know have glass table. I can think of one. So are there only 1 million glass tables out there? And 1 million of them are causing 400 accidents. Like, that's a really high percentage. I'd be interested just to know how many glass tables are in the country.
And you see, this is why I told someone that I was not being cheap when I decided to get the plexiglass table instead of the glass table. I was being smart.
So it's they give a bunch of numbers and gibberish, and it says that translates to 186 children ages 0 to 17 who die in fatal accidents involving glass tabletops per year. 55 of those children are projected to be under the age of 5. The study numbers were done from 19 to 215, or 09 to 215. During that period, there was an average of 86 children who died in accidents involving firearms per year, 601 for 7 years. There was an average of 24.2 children who died each year on average under the age of 5. So the difference is 168 versus 24.4 for the young age group. So 100, and that's, you know, five times as many. That's pretty.
But we're the bad guys. Remember, we are the bad guys.
Pretty silly. That's pretty silly. And I know. Here, let me find this. Budget didn't do Moron of the Week this week.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, boy, this might fit. This might fit Moron of the Week. Conservatives blast MSNBC host for calling Clarence Thomas Uncle Clarence. When I heard this one, I was like, holy shit.
They didn't go for the obvious of Uncle Tom.
Right. Conservatives online are criticizing MSNBC host Joy Reid, who is black, as racist for referring to Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who is also black, as Uncle Clarence, a seeming reference to Uncle Tom, an insult for those perceived as selling out their fellow black people. The comment came as the host of an election night panel discussed the president's premature announcement on Tuesday that he won the election and threats to challenge close races in the Supreme Court. Counting is expected to continue for the next few days. Ms. Reid said she doubted the conservative-leaning court, including Uncle Clarence, would make a fair call. The comment quickly generated outrage among conservatives online, many of whom appear to be white. The National Review lambasted the host's comments as a racial slur, while others on Twitter called it absolutely disgusting and a horrible thing to say. Joy Reid was and that's the clip. It's a clip of her saying, and I did watch the clip, and it is a really shitty thing to say. It's not the first time Miss Reid has mocked Justice Thomas as Uncle Clarence. She has repeatedly criticized the Supreme Court justice for his record on voting rights and elections, George W. Bush, and blah blah blah. So this kind of goes along. I mean, this is kind of the same mentality as Joe Biden saying, like, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So it's just it's her saying that he should be a certain way, or should think a certain way, or should act a certain way because of the color of his skin, where, and not because of, his mind and what his heart tells him is right or wrong. And it's really shitty, man. It's a really shitty thing for her to say. Maybe some people don't think it's a big deal, and maybe it's not a huge deal, and I shouldn't think it's a big deal. But I feel like I think it's really, really shitty. Like I said, like, oh, he's black, so he should do this just because he's black. Or, if somebody's white, they should do this just because they're white. And so I'm saying that Joy Reid is the moron of the week. And I know Budget's not out there, which is unfortunate because he could come on here and play his music for us, but for that segment. There you go. Moron of the week.
Tuesday, 9 o'clock.
No. So there you go. That's some straight bullshit. Anybody have anything? Anybody want to comment on that one or no?
Yet.
I agree.
Mute.
Mosen price continues to rise.
Biden said, "You don't vote for him, you're not black enough."
That's right.
Two hospitals. I am the voter now.
Yeah, I'm the voter now. 2 hospitalized after firearm explodes in Barbersville. So unfortunately, they didn't really say, they don't know what happened, and there's like no video of it or whatever, but it says 2 family members were transported to their area hospital Sunday after they were injured when a rifle malfunctioned and exploded. Police arrived. They found while a family was target practicing with guns when a 50 caliber rifle exploded, blowing the gun apart. They were having a bit of it says they were having a bit of trouble with it, and eventually a round exploded in the chamber. One person's hand is severely injured, and the bullet went out the back and hit the younger person. We don't know what exactly happened, but something malfunctioned. I mean, that's so. I was just going to say the same thing. Do you think it could have been a squib?
Now, hold on a second before we all get too deep into this. Nelly said 50 caliber rifle. That's anything from was it a 50 caliber muzzleloader? Was it a 5090 Sharps, or was it a 50 BMG?
Yeah.
And are they saying because all right, if a bullet went out the back, that is like very contrary to physics.
Right. I've never heard of that.
Now, is the person writing it saying bullet as in, this is a bullet, rather than, no, this is a bullet? Or is it just that? Because, just going off the theory that, okay, if this was a muzzleloader, was it maybe the breech plug? Did somebody not tamp the powder down as far as it needed to? Or is this something where someone had a squib in it, the action let go, or it fired out a battery?
Yeah. Well, there's also, my thought too was they're saying that how did they say how did they exactly? Oh, the bullet went out the back and hit the younger person. Are they just assuming that it was the bullet, or was that like a chunk of the receiver or something? Mm-hmm. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, that's the first thing I thought of, was like, how the fuck does the bullet come out the back?
Yeah, it could have been like the casing flying back out. Like you said, if it was out of battery when it went off, it could be. Because
if it was something big like a 50 BMG, and that's a hell of a lot of brass coming at you. I mean, if you're standing behind that and it comes back at you at a couple 100 feet per second, that's going to hurt. I mean, that could mess you up.
Yeah, but it's also a comparatively low pressure round, or lower pressure round.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was interesting the way that it was all worded,
Yeah.
Words, they have meaning. Try to use the correct ones. Are hard. Kind of like math. And dividing by 0.
So, Jared, Rupan, I wish Rupan was here. He sent me a link last week to an in-range TV. You all know in-range TV.
No, I forgot about that one.
In-range TV being a thing, or
see what I did there?
Forgot about what? Who are you?
Oh, isn't that the Forgotten Weapons?
Let me find something here. I'll be right back.
No. In-range is Carl. Gun Jesus is Forgotten Weapons.
Oh, I thought I was being clever. Whatever. Never mind. You can ignore me.
Okay.
I'm not going to ignore you. I'm going to ignore you and just look at the puppy.
Okay, so let me share my screen here, and we'll see if share audio. Oops. Nope. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, hopefully you guys will be able to hear this.
Did it open in a new tab?
Can you hear it?
No, we're seeing your email.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's Bootylicious 447?
It's your mom.
Oh,
Well, no, that would be more like Necro 177 since she's dead.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Okay, now can you see it? Now you got the right thing here?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
This is the kind of stuff where we get to the meats and bones of things that matter, really, right? So let me go there with this. The definition of a sandwich by Webster.
Somebody emailed him for one of their question and answer. It says, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is the dictionary. Is an item of food consisting of two pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other filling between them, eaten as a light meal. By that definition, a hot dog is a sandwich. But a hot dog bun is typically connected. So it's not two pieces of bread. If the bread is still connected in the middle, that's one piece of bread. So if we're going to define a hot dog as a sandwich and the bun is still connected at the middle, it is an open-faced sandwich, even if you fold the bun. Now, if you cut the bun in half so that it's a separate piece of bread and you now have a piece of bread and a piece of bread, put it together with the hot dog in the middle, now you have a traditional sandwich that is between two pieces of bread. So in that regard, it's a sandwich, but it's more traditionally an open-faced sandwich. But that's not where this ends. If you go to the cube rules of food, and I recommend that you look up the cube rule of food, hot dog is a taco because it's folded around, because it is a piece of bread or a piece of some sort of like a taco, like a tortilla, that is a solid single piece with the filling in the middle. And when it has this shape, per the cube rules of food, it's a taco. So we have to really define if we're going by the standard traditional rules or the cube rules. If we're going with cube rules, hot dog's a taco. If we're going outside of the cube rules, then it is an open-faced sandwich. Unless you do something weird where you accidentally or intentionally cut the bun in half, then it is a sandwich. So a hot dog is a sandwich, open-faced sandwich, or a traditional sandwich, or by modern cube rules, could be considered a taco.
Okay.
What type of weird voodoo is this where we're considering tacos hot dogs?
So that means sandwich. So a Subway sandwich is a taco now?
I guess it could be. But so
I know it's a pretty weak taco, though it is a pretty bitchin' meal.
So what I did was I did a little research and I said, what are the different types of sandwiches? Okay. And what are categories of sandwiches? And I came up with this list. Came up with these, and I thought, well, these make a lot of sense. There's a hero or a hoagie or a sub, right? Like Subway. Sliced bread, like a traditional sliced bread sandwich, right? Open face sandwich, okay, so bread or something like that with meat on top. And this is where you get into some tough things because, like, what's biscuits and gravy? Does that make biscuits and gravy an open-faced sandwich? I say yes.
I'd say that's more of a weak casserole. It's good, but it's kind of like a weak half-ass casserole.
Okay. A club sandwich or club-style sandwich, so you've got layers. Okay, I can go with that. A pocket sandwich. So they use the term pocket sandwich. I thought, okay, that makes sense because you're talking about gyros.
Gyro.
Gyros and stuff like that. And then the sliced roll sandwich, which would be like a hamburger or a muffaletta or something like that. So those are 6 different categories. I'm pretty solid on these categories. I think they serve our purpose to prove that a hot dog is a sandwich. And somebody once told me, came up with the argument about like that if a hot dog or if a hamburger is, what's the difference between a hot dog and a hamburger? There's not a whole lot of difference. Like, well, the bun is not connected. I was like, so if you would take a hamburger bun and slice it like 90% of the way through and slide the patty in there, would that not be a sandwich then? And they were like, well, that would still be a sandwich because it's still a hamburger. But the buns are connected. So that's what you're saying that makes the difference, is the fact that the buns are connected. I proved my point. Anybody want to disagree with me?
Yep. I'm going left field. I'm going way left field. Hot dog is a pizza.
No. Calzone is a taco.
No, because it's totally encapsulated. That's a stuffed.
What's a
that would be a
chimichanga
stuffed-
then?
It's a stuffed taco.
That would be I guess that would be like the pocket sandwich, but totally encapsulated. So maybe it's a stuffed sandwich.
Calzone is a
Around
burrito.
here, they're completely enclosed. They're not like cut open or left open on the end. They're completely enclosed.
Right. That's what I mean by stuffed. Like it's totally encapsulated.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Like
calzone's
an
a burrito for sure.
An Uncrustable. Have you ever had an Uncrustable?
They
Where it's
still
the
make those?
PB&J? Yeah, my son loves them. They're okay, but he loves them. I think he likes the idea of them more than he actually likes them. But it's it's the bread, and then they squish it together and they make like a little disc, and that's sealed the whole way around. Is that still a sandwich? I think
Have you
so.
ever made one of those on a campfire?
No.
Things for the campfire. It's like a clamshell.
Oh
that
yeah,
you
pie irons.
put
Those
stuff and
Mhm.
put it in there.
Mhm.
I've always
I'll tell you.
a combo sandwich.
Yeah, we used to do those, but with like pizza fixins, and then just like the regular pie filling.
Mhm.
But you got to be very careful that you put the right amount in. You put too much in there, it'll close. But then you take a bite in, and it's hello, 3rd-degree burns on my face.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So,
Papa John's does that folded pizza bread or something.
Mhm.
Something I can't remember what they call it. Would that be considered a taco now?
I guess. Yeah.
Oh, it's a good idea
Because it's folded one.
Netflutter says he's losing IQ points the longer I listen. Don't listen. Just go along with it. I mean, we're talking. What we're saying here makes a whole lot of sense. A lot of people.
And then in Subway, you have that flatbread. So it's only one piece, and it's connected. So that would be another taco.
Now, on
Right.
the subject of Subway, they used to cut like a trench, like a V in the sandwich. Would that still be a sandwich, or would that still be a taco?
Exactly. But it is. I mean, I think it's a sandwich. I think I think the fact that it's. I think if you want to call a taco a subcategory of a sandwich, I could probably get behind that. But I think if the bread is leavened, if it's got air to it, it puts it in a different category than a non-leavened sandwich, which could be a taco. And that makes that hold on. That means that if a hard shell taco is an unleavened, crunchy shelled sandwich or breaded sandwich, that means nachos are a big pile of open face sandwiches. Fuck that. Think
Look,
about that.
I would just like to say that the superior form of the taco is not the hard shell or the soft shell. It's where you have them both put together, like a Taco Bravo.
Or cheesy gordita crunch.
Well, yeah, but we don't have Taco Bells in our area. We have Taco John's.
Oh, I remember when that first came out. We went to the drive-thru, and the dude was so enthusiastic. You know how they're always like, "Hey, you want to try a bean burrito or whatever?" He's like, "Would you like to try a cheesy gordita crunch?" And I'm like, "You know what, dude? I do want to, because the way you said that."
Yeah, you sold me.
And a dime bag of whatever the hell you're on.
Yeah, there you go. Cripple Nipple's talking about they're talking about reloading out there and stuff. He said, frankly, I have no one to teach me, and a mistake can be really bad. True.
Do it.
I will. Yeah, I was just gonna say my father-in-law is a big reloader, and I did I did talk to him a little bit when I started reloading, but honestly, I figured it out. I did a lot of YouTube. I talked to people. Actually, I didn't really even talk to people because that was before I was on YouTube, but I watched some videos, talked to him a little bit, and just worked through it. It's not hard. It's not complicated. You can make it. You can make reloading as simple or as complicated as you want. You don't have to do a lot of the things that people do. You don't have to, go through each step every time with every caliber necessarily. So Yeah, I would. If you're interested in it, I would say get into it. What I have said to people in the past is, if you know anybody that does it, ask them to sit in with them a little bit and watch and ask them what's going on. I have a video. I can look it up. I have a video where I started out with a live stream with about a, 15, 20-minute little rundown of my setup. And my setup is very simple. I have a single stage press, and I just talked about my setup a little bit and, the basics of reloading, like how you do it, and showed a couple of hand tools. I don't have a whole lot of fancy tools. A lot of my stuff is hand tools. And I mean, I put out some really, really good ammo. If I'm careful and, if I want to, it's really fun. I mean, it is kind of pricey to get into, at the very beginning, but, once you get into it and once you're cranking out ammo, you forget about the investment and you're having a blast. There's a lot of people, that are willing to walk you through stuff and talk you through stuff. There's going to be some people that give you different advice, or, they have different ways of looking at things. There's a lot of people that crank out ammo and they don't worry about necessarily having them perfect for, accuracy and stuff, because it's just plinking ammo. And then there's other people that'll measure every damn round, and they trim every time and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Dead Horse is crazy into reloading. I mean, if you don't know who Dead Horse is, go befriend that son of a bitch, and he will steer you in the right direction. Trust me.
And if he's not willing to talk to you, there's a guy called Uncle Jim on YouTube who will be. He's a bit of an acquired taste, but yeah, all those guys who are in his chat, reloading for days. And before I finish my point here, I like to point out that I find it interesting how we start talking reloading and Mr. Yours Cortez immediately falls asleep, wakes up.
Sorry, I've been up early today.
Yeah, so
I've done some reloading. I didn't get to do very much, but I've done shotgun shells. I've done 40, done 9mm, and I was waiting to do 5.56, but the friend of mine I was using his reloading, had passed away, so I didn't get to finish on that.
Well, George, you know how they say there's no such thing as a stupid question? Apparently you asked a lethal one. And I'm an asshole for saying that. I am. I really am. I shouldn't have said that. I apologize.
That is, I just threw a link in there. If you go into YouTube and search MidnightRangeTM reloading, it pops up, and it's episode number 36, and there's a link to it. Go ahead and watch it. I will say I'm very non-fancy. I don't have a whole lot of equipment. I don't have a whole lot of stuff like that. So, but check it out. Foss says he was going to start reloading. Bam, COVID. Bam, riot. Bam, screw your reloading idea, chump. Yeah.
I would like to give some advice.
Go ahead.
So, advice number 1: do not let a family member take your brass and go to the local scrapyard and give you $1 for it. Advice number 2, and I am authorized by the official lawyers of the closer that this is the official legal, actionable advice of the closer program. The cases are made that size for a specific reason. So just scoop it into a bucket of powder and then push the bullet down as far as it can go until it gets.
Well, speaking of reloading, West Covina Dodge right there. This is a man who had an IKEA shelving unit collapse because he had 400 pounds of lead sitting on it. He cast his own. He loads his own black powder rounds for a Martini Henry, and that's a 1/4 ounce chunk of lead going down range. So he'd be a guy to ask. And Smeggy, unfortunately, our lawyer turned out to not really be a lawyer. He was more of a shoe repair and take and bake pizza guy. So yeah, we're actually in the market for new legal counsel. If you are interested in representing the closer, please contact our HR department at shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Yankee
You will
love
get a
that.
response in 24 hours.
Yeah, right.
Oh, please. We know he only looks at his email for like the 1 hour a day he's actually sitting in front of his computer.
He just actually just liked one of my Instagram posts. So, well, he's up right now. If you want to send him an email and bitch at him, go ahead. Maybe he'll get it.
Yeah, put in the tagline "Free Frosted Flakes for Life." He'll understand.
There you go.
Is video choppy?
I actually have something that happened recently. Speaking of Yankee, because I was kind of up in his neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Went up to Tacoma, and we were there for a couple days. And I was wearing my hat that I always wear, which says "Repeal the NFA." It's a Dan Weston hat I got at NRA show about 3-4 years ago, something like that. Which I just always think that's cool that a decently big sized company would be supporting of repealing the NFA. Especially because I don't think Dan Weston makes suppressors, so it's not like they have a dog in the fight other than freedom. But anyway, so I'm wearing that hat, and I got 2 different people to have a fairly good conversation based on that, which all starts with, what's the NFA? And the first dude was like the hotel clerk when we were checking in. And so I explained, NFA, National Firearms Act, 1934, blah, blah. And I explained all the stuff that it was. And he's like, oh, dude, that sounds horrible. And then, I figured, knowing my audience, he was definitely in the progressive sphere. So I'm like, yeah, I go, basically they put that in there because that was like the equivalent of the same price of a new car. So it's like, you can buy this thing, but then you have to pay a tax that, costs whatever, fucking suppressors were what, like $5, and then the tax was $200. So obviously the tax was supposed to be like poor people. And he's like, oh, dude, that's horrible, blah, blah. And we had like a really good conversation. And he's like, I'm not really into guns, but I'm starting to lean that way. I think a lot of people have felt that over this past year. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I kind of did the whole libertarian thing, right? I want you and your gay lover to defend your pot fields with fully automatic rifles. And he's like, yeah, I wish people would just leave everyone alone. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, especially when you, if you dig into the history on the NFA a little bit more, for like the first 2 years that it was in place, they did not issue a single tax stamp. There was actually a court case to where I don't remember if it was a Supreme Court or a Circuit Court said, nah, dog, you can't just, not issue these tax stamps. You have to actually issue them. So.
Oh, they were just sitting on them, and people actually applied for it, and they just weren't.
I think it was one of those things where they were just like, well, yeah, we can say, okay, you require this tax stamp, but we're not going to have the tax stamps available, kind of thing. So, or I might be remembering that wrong. It might have been something that was on the History Channel back when they did something other than Pawn Stars.
So kind of technically, you can get a carry permit. We're not restricting your rights.
Mm-hmm.
Are never going to actually give you one. Places in California and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I didn't mean to check the chat. I've been
that's fine, bro. I haven't
been very often, but
I was just gonna. Captain Cripple Nipple says every time I think of reloaders, I think of a crazy old guy in his basement reloading for Y2K.
Hey, I'm not old.
Yeah, I will say this. It's quite the opposite when you talk to people. For me, when I talk to people about owning guns and stuff, when I talk to people about shooting, that I own guns that I like to shoot and stuff, if it's somebody I don't know very well, or if it's somebody that I think might not be necessarily a pro gun person, I'll throw in there that I reload. And it's really funny because that it's really funny, and that usually gets people a little bit more on my boat, in my wheelhouse or whatever. If people say, "Oh yeah, I like to shoot them." I'm a gun guy. I really like to shoot. And okay. And they say, yeah, I even I reload too, which is really nice because I shoot, if I shoot for accuracy and I'm shooting, I'd like to get into competition someday. And then all of a sudden people start seeing it like, oh wow, that's cool, that's really neat, and they see it more as a sport than just like some dude that has a bunch of guns and is crazy. It's kind of neat. They see it more as a hobby, and they see it more as like a hobby and a pastime, and not just out there blowing holes and shit,
Mm-hmm.
We'll look at Instagram here a little bit. This is super cool. This is like, how if you've ever taken a videotape of like your TV or something, how sometimes the frame rate makes things look really weird. This is a fucking helicopter where the frame rate of the video is like the same as the chopper blades or something. Look at that. Isn't that freaking weird?
Well, Midnight, I think you're confusing this synchronization phenomenon with the fact that, no, this is just the Matrix failing to load in.
Could be.
Even though, that's U of M hospital, isn't it? Is it?
I don't know.
Or it might be Michigan.
It's hard to tell. But that shit looks crazy, man.
Yeah.
You can see the tail rotor spinning, but the main prop is looks like it's standing still. It's just so weird.
You ever seen that video where they show somebody in a car passing and they see a jet, and the jet looks like it's not moving?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one time. I was going out and I was looking at this one jet and I said, wow, that jet looks like it's not moving. It's like there's something wrong in the Matrix, It looks freaky though.
This video is pretty fun. If you see it. Woman runs up and she's like, grabs this. I was like, what the hell happened? Because I didn't read the heading at first. So these two moms both have like toddlers, and they're both wearing pink jets, blue pants, white shoes, and a white hat. And the lady picks up the wrong kid and starts walking around with it. And she's like, oh my God, that's my baby. I'm sorry.
But it's funny that the babies didn't say anything. They didn't cry. They just went along with it.
And this lady's kid's like looking at something in the cooler case or something. I thought that was pretty funny. Like, holy shit, I wonder when she would have realized, when she got home or something. How fucking terrifying would that be? You get home and you're like, oh my God, I got the wrong kid. This is the post that I saw that made me look up, leftists. And this is from Breitbart. And of course, they are who they are. Leftists, never Trumpers, begin compiling lists of Trump supporters. And I was like, huh. So, and that's just what you said. We talked about a little bit. It's like, I don't think that's exactly what it is, but this is from Maj. It says some perspective for everyone. 12, 14, 20 electoral votes are tabulated. If fraudulent votes are found, each state gets one electoral vote. States are 27 to 22 Republican. If there's a tie, it goes to the support. How many SCOTUS judges are leaning? In what kind of situation does that actually happen? I mean, this is a very, I'm sure, oversimplified, is a very simplified description of what the system, but if fraudulent votes found, each state gets one electoral vote. Is that, I don't know. I don't really know.
It may be correct, but that something sounds off about that.
I just feel like there's got to be more to it than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean that, I don't know. That would just be like, if it were me, like if I was the Republican campaign or whatever, I would just false flag it and then just be like, hey, this one's fraudulent. Like one ballot in the entire country, and all the states, it's only one vote. That doesn't sound.
I don't know, unless it's like a majority or it's something where it's like, yeah, all this is, or found to be fraudulent for the whole thing, yeah, I can understand that. But then again, no one's really going to actually read the Constitution and like interpret it. So
yeah,
I'm not doing the research to back up what I just said. That it's not. So
no, screw you.
Ballots counted for Democrats that were meant for Republicans, causing a 6,000 vote swing against our candidates. The county clerk came forward and said tabulating software glitched and caused a miscalculation of the votes. Since then, we have now discovered that 47 counties use this same software in the same capacity. Antrim County had to hand count all of the ballots, and these counties that use this software need to closely examine their results for similar discrepancies. The people of Michigan deserve a transparent and open process. If all this wasn't enough, in Antrim County,
so that's what we were talking about, all this bullshit before, but this one saved, to bring it up. I don't think it's just those 47 counties too. I think many other states use that too. I had heard. So
is that it just so happens that pretty much every swing state uses the same software.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's not just Michigan, it was also Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida, Arizona, Nevada, like they all use the same thing.
It was just like in Matt's chat where he was saying that Trump was in the lead of Wisconsin, and then all of a sudden later on in the late night it said, oh, Biden just went up 1,000 votes for, because around 4 a.m, and he goes, well, how can it be 4 a.m. if people went home? They didn't continue counting. And then they were saying, oh, but those were all mail-in votes. I'm like, how can he get 1,000 votes, and nobody got any, Trump or Joe Jorgensen got any votes, come on,
Yeah.
I don't, on that one, I don't think it was just Biden, just from the stuff I saw, because I've seen that, and then I've seen it debunked as well. And it's not uncommon for a state to be leaning one way and then all of a sudden the other, because like Michigan's a pretty good example. When that big jump, well, the one jump that everyone's showing on that chart, that was proved to be a fault with like the actual reporting, and they fixed it like right away. So they wasn't actually those votes weren't actually counted. It was like a misreporting. But anyways, like I'm saying, once Wayne County comes in, which is where Detroit is, of course it's going to be like 80% Biden. So he's going to all of a sudden, make up that difference because there's so many more votes in that county to compare with like 5 or 6 counties up north that have 10 people that live in it, that you could lose that lead.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm going to jump off. Thanks for giving me the event here a little bit.
Hey, anytime, buddy.
Yeah, nice talking to you, Smeg.
Take it easy, man. You have a good one.
You know what I mean? So that's where we are right now.
Number 42.
You know what I mean? So that's where we are right now with, you know what I mean? So that's where we are right now with, you know what I mean?
It's always number 42, man.
Yep, 42.
Budweiser AR-15.
Oh, that looks nice. Budweiser.
Yeah. I don't remember why I saved this one.
Again.
Oh, yeah.
Plymouth Suggestion Box and Plymouth Neighborhood Watch. So, I voted again twice. Actually, it's not as horrible as it sounds. Basically, if you have a paper mail-in ballot or you submitted your vote at like a drop box or something like that, and you find yourself in a situation where you have the ability to actually go to the poll, to actually go to your polling place, you can still vote. And both votes don't get counted. The one you cast in person gets counted, and the other one does not. So if your vote has not been submitted, if you mailed it in and it hasn't been submitted yet, then you can vote. So that's what I did.
So again, like, it's supposed to catch that first vote, as you know, or it's supposed to catch that mail-in vote doesn't count. Today, is it caught? You know what I mean? I think that's this dude knowingly voted twice. I think even if you say, oh, it's going to catch one of them, I think knowingly voting twice should be a fucking crime. And if it's not, I mean, it's a crime. If it's not, it should be.
Hey, how's it going?
Fucking millennials, leave me alone.
Hey, how's it going?
It's like, fuck you, man.
You got food? No, then fuck off.
Oh, this was just funny. I like this. Gender reveal. The guy's like, huh?
Norbert. Naked gun.
Oh, this shit's bananas too. Watch this.
Holy moly.
Yeah, how about it, man? Fucking A. This dude takes off with the gas thing still in his car. He don't give a shit. He's like, I'm out of here. Fuck you guys. Cars driving by. This is from the different camera. Man. It's, I mean, super lucky that somebody wasn't parked on top of that. You know what I mean? Hell,
did they say what caused the explosion? Or
I don't know. I'm not even sure where this is. I'm not sure what country this is in. Obviously, it's
it's Middle East looking, or maybe India.
Dude, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell with the plates blurred like that.
Yeah,
but the guy that walked out the first car, all white, he looked like he was wearing maybe something like maybe some people in India would wear.
Mm-hmm. I thought this was funny too. We know you bought a turkey that serves 10 to 12. Yeah, you're not supposed to have more than 6 people or something. So if you don't watch the channel, if you haven't watched, I did a video where Trump was talking about beating everybody off.
Oh, yeah.
Make I even mix some Italian I walk out. They feeling da 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 da. They feeling da.
I don't feel no ways tired. I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far. I've come too far from where I started from. From where I started from. I don't feel no ways tired. I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far. I've come too far.
So they just happen to have the same script writer, I guess.
Yeah, but you noticed how Hillary there had a lot more of the draw with Ty.
Yeah, she had it. Yeah. I remember that.
Is wanting to make sure that I do not get elected the next president of the United States because they know I know them and they know me.
They don't know that we know they know we know.
I don't know Trump's face.
That I do not get elected.
Trump's face is so funny
because they know I know them and they know me.
They don't know that we know they know we know.
We know, you know.
He's like, what the fuck is this guy saying?
Trump's out there looking like, man, I wonder what they're going to serve for dinner at the White House.
Doot. Delivery?
Delivery. You got a package.
Hello.
Speedy delivery. Speedy delivery.
Yeah. Gusher sandwich with fruit by the foot bread.
Well, that right there is just the diabetes talking.
Yeah.
Keep your
I
sugars
wasn't
low.
where they still
diabetes
made Gushers. I thought they were taken off the market.
I don't think so. Poor little guy. Poor little guy got a dump on his head. Poor little guy. Feel bad for him.
He got a lifty nifty hat.
This fucking guy runs up and tries to steal a package. Yeah, he whoops the shit out of this guy. He was limping off. Fuck yeah, man. Bullshit. My kid's Halloween. Where are all of our peanut butter cups?
My God, he's gained weight since I last saw him.
Well, it's a cycle.
I'm not going to say that looks like 2 Live Moo. I'm not going to say.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Rock and I think it's a right for people to have bad health care. Rock and I think it's a right for people to have bad health care.
Bad
health care.
Bad health care. Motherfuckers get a gun and think they're John Wick when they're really Cheddar Bob. Actually, I think this was Klein Knives. This was Roro. 1911s with sights are for amateurs. You fucking pussies. Sean Connery, probably. That was a good one.
Yeah, bridge too far.
I think so.
There's something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Goat's butter.
Goat's butter.
Okay.
How Hunter Biden shovels snow. Oh, this dude's got this down pat. This dude's he knows what he's doing
Hello,
here.
my name is Matt Foley, and I am a motivational speaker. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself, young man. I am 35 years old, thrice divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
That's a good impression. I got to give it to him.
Yeah, I thought he was going to jump on a table or something.
Yeah. When does the poll start as to when Harris takes over the presidency? I don't know. I've heard people say I've heard people say 6 months, which is me. I thought 6 months until I heard this, that if they go into the second year and then she takes over, she can still run for 2 terms after that, and she could technically be in office for 10 years.
Yeah, I heard that in Yankees chat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, another 8 years. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Fucking A, this
Imagine
shit. Missing man's skull found sitting on fireplace mantle. Local authorities are reporting that the skull of a man missing since 2012 has been found sitting on the fireplace mantle of a Tennessee resident. What the hell's wrong with people in Tennessee? Fucking Tennessee man giving Florida man a run for his money. The remains were identified through DNA. Yeah, just found it. Found the skull and just sort of kept it there. Put it up on the fireplace mantle.
It was sitting on the mantle. I can kind of see. I mean, it wasn't like found in dishwasher of Florida man. He has been using it as an ashtray and cereal bowl.
Oh, this guy. I thought this was pretty funny. Poor guy falls, slips on the ice, busts his knee up. Yeah.
Oh, fucking shit, right from the start. Oh. Fuck.
Now,
fuck. Okay, I'm good.
it just keep...
I'm good. Yes, ma'am.
and probably taught your kids a couple new colorful words. Did he even deliver the package to begin with?
I don't know what. Yeah,
he's got a package and 2 envelopes.
Yeah. Poor guy. I was like, oh man, that really sucks. And then when he fell on the way out too, I thought, oh my god, this poor guy. What else did I have?
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true and international effort to pressure.
Oh yeah.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true and international effort to pressure.
Yep. That's what he's going to do. That's what
Okay,
we're going
Joe.
Yeah, a friend of mine tells me that Biden's a stutterer. That he tries hard not to stutter. And when they were doing the debates, Trump was trying to make him, to stutter and stuff by, pushing him and asking him questions and just keep, hammering Biden so he could start stuttering and stuff. But it didn't happen as Trump, thought it was going to go, But that's what a friend of mine tells me, that Biden's a stutterer and he tries to not to stutter, when he talks.
Well,
and that's what I think sometimes he says his way.
That's been one of their things for the past year or whatever. They when he misspeaks or whatever, they'll say, "Oh, he worked very hard as a child to defeat his stutter," or whatever you want to call it, get past his stutter. And they make it. They want you to sympathize with him. I mean, they want you to feel bad for making fun of him. Children and firearm safety. Children and guns are simply a bad idea. Your average firearm is too unwieldy for a typical child to operate in a safe and effective manner. Children are much better suited to crew-served weapons. The semi-stationary characteristic of a mortar or heavy machine gun relies less on a child's physical strength and stamina, and also builds teamwork. I thought that was pretty good. Like that. This was funny.
Like with a little bit of like rosemary. See, like with a little bit of like rosemary.
She freaked herself out. I thought that was cool. Here, we'll end with one that's we'll end with a feel good one. It says, I saw this gentleman, Tim, in Boston's Logan Airport with the sister he'd been visiting. It appeared he was both deaf and blind. As I observed her signing into his hand for him to feel her words, when he came aboard the plane, he had been assigned the middle seat of my row. The kind gentleman who had the aisle seat graciously gave it up for him. At this point, Tim was traveling alone. The flight attendant sincerely wanted to assist him, but had no way to communicate. I watched as they didn't flinch when he reached out to touch their faces and arms. They took his hand and tried so hard to communicate with him to no avail. He had some verbal ability, but clearly could not understand them. The man who had given up his seat did his best to assist him with things like opening coffee creamer and putting it in his coffee. When Tim made the attempt to stand up and feel his way to the restroom, his seatmate immediately was up to help him. The flight attendants were among themselves, and someone suggested paging to see if anyone on board knew sign language. That's when this lovely young woman came into the picture. 15 years old. She learned ASL because she had dyslexia, and it was the easiest foreign language for her to learn. For the rest of the flight, she attended to Tim and made sure his needs were met. It was fascinating to watch as she signed one letter at a time into his hand. He was able to read her signing, and they carried on an animated conversation. When he asked her if she was pretty, she blushed and laughed as the seatmate, who had learned a few signs, communicated an enthusiastic yes to Tim. I don't know when I've ever seen so many people rally to take care of another human being. All of us in the immediate row were laughing and smiling, enjoying his obvious delight in having someone to talk to. Huge kudos to the flight attendants of Alaska Airlines who went above and beyond to meet Tim's needs. I can't say enough about this beautiful young woman named Clara who didn't think twice about helping her fellow passenger. It was a beautiful reminder at this time in too much awfulness that there are still good people who are willing to look out for you. So I thought that was a really cool little story, you know. Yeah. I made sure to save that one because I thought, and I was like, "We do Instagram."
What's that one on the left? The one with the hat and the beak.
Oh, the plague down.
That was.
Good day. I'm Bob the Necromancer, and today we're doing an unboxing. Good day. I'm Bob the Necromancer, and today we're doing an unboxing.
Oh, that was funny. Just being like, you know, we do YouTube videos and stuff. You hear people say, we're doing an unboxing today. And I thought, oh, man, that's really funny. And he's, digging up a grave, doing an unboxing.
Yeah, so, that's crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool story. And with everybody being pissed off at everybody else and everybody being so cranky and miserable and bitching about everything, I thought, what a nice story. What a cool thing to end the show with. So I thought that was, pretty sweet. So,
yeah, that's cool.
It's nice. I mean, it's nice to see somebody post something like this, to maybe bring some love into the world instead of some anger, you know? So we'll close on that. I know that would be a nice thing to close on. So what do you guys got anything to plug? Guns and Barbecue? You still with us? I haven't heard you in a little while. He's sleeping. Shh. Baby's sleeping.
George passed his sleepiness on to Guns and BBQ.
Yeah, it's possible.
No.
Yes.
I was nodding off, but I at least woke up.
Before he started.
Yeah, I'm still here. If I could take us back 2 weeks.
Go ahead.
Am I lagging really bad?
You must be, because it's showing that you are muted, but you're talking. So I've seen that happen before. It's weird when you get a big lag. Sometimes you're on mute and you talk and it doesn't even register.
I was just gonna say, my cousin finally replied to me that worked at Wendy's from the conversation 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
and they do indeed use the leftover burgers from the night before, and if they have to make a new batch of chili that same day, and they don't have any more leftover burgers from the night before, they just make new burgers and throw them in the chili.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell Squib.
Don't tell Squib.
No.
Don't tell Squib.
No.
He got super mad at me, man. He was a wound up that sumbitch was a wound up sumbitch last week.
No.
The kids are stuck. If it's in this
part
bag,
was I had to.
Go ahead.
The best part was trying to explain to my cousin why the hell I had to ask him that.
Yeah. Yeah. He was probably like, why do you need to know that?
So I just was like, here, just go watch this.
He's you're probably like, well, I'm trying to save a friendship right now.
Well, save a friendship or prove the fact that I'm right. Same difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Gun control is not kosher.
That patch is brought to you by the Pew Pew Jew from the 2019 Patch Badge.
I had shoot. Let me see here. Hold on 1 second. My chat. I lost my chat. There was a. Let me see here. Hold on 1 second.
Who are you going to take a quote from?
No, I'm not. I'm looking. I got to go into my email here quick. Hold on. I think it was Seven Wonders sent me. Is it Seven Wonders? Shoot. No, I can't find it now. There was
yeah, he's saying he says don't forget about the link.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Hold on, let me see in my phone. Maybe I have it on my phone.
I have a question. Were you managed to shut the link off from last Sunday? Because it kept saying live.
It went for a little while, I think. And here's the thing. It's the same thing. This happened a couple months ago. If you guys remember, the same thing happened where it was like I shut it off and it shut it off, but it kept replaying like a section.
Yeah,
really
that was happening. That's what was happening last Sunday too.
Yeah, like if you would turn it on, it said it was live, and if you clicked on it and watched it on YouTube, it would play like, I don't know, a minute or a couple of minutes, and then replay it over and over and over again. Really weird. I don't know. Yeah,
this was funny because Edge was talking and he made a face, and me and my neighbor just like cracking up, going like, "Oh, I don't know, dude. It's kind of funny."
Yeah, yeah, that's 100%.
Something freaky weird.
Yeah, that's 100% YouTube. Yeah. All right. Here it is. Hold on 1 second. All right. So now let me find out. Are you gonna share this sumbitch? Oops. Hold on. Where's the share button when you do it on the laptop here? It's
not the share.
Buttons, huh? To share a video. I want to copy it. I guess I could just copy and paste it. Here, hold on. There we go. Copy. Okay. So here, if you want to watch something, there's a link. There's a link if you want to watch a YouTube video from somebody that is very wound up. So it's Seven Wonders sent it to me, and it's really weird. Like it's just the way that it's showing up on my computer. It's Michael Sains. Who is it? I forget. I want to say his name correctly, his channel name correctly. I guess I could click on that link and see if it takes me to it.
Texas Outlaw.
The link's not working.
Is it Signs?
Yeah, Michael Signs. Yeah, the link's not fucking working. Hold on.
I think it's share a YouTube video, isn't it?
It was funny because like I clicked on the link and the first thing that when the video comes out, he's throwing the finger.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Let me go to it on my phone because it's working on my phone better.
You wanted to pop it up in the chat here, or just throw it out on the side there?
Whatever.
Okay, well, yeah, I pasted it in. I think if you go, down under more actions, I think Night Strike added this share YouTube video. I think you just enter the. Let me paste and.
I got it here.
Share. Waiting for. Maybe it's not going to let me do that since I'm.
This is a
There you go. I got it. That should be a better link. That's a shorter link. A lot of times
video in
don't want to work.
warning. Following video is going to be spicy.
Whoa, YouTube joined the chat.
Welcome to my channel. All right, so I haven't done a video in.
Oh, it muted me. Yeah, it just took it a while to spin up, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
And I hit stop, so stop YouTube video.
Yeah. So Michael Signs. I know you guys haven't watched that video yet. You're the wound up son bitch of the week. You're so wound up. It makes you want to punch somebody. You gotta punch.
Ow, 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 ow. Stop it. Stop it. Ow. What'd I do to you? I paid you your $20.
There you go. So you want to watch a video, and I had left I should go into that. Let me see if I can find that again. Shit, I lost it. I made a comment under his video. And if you watch that video, you will indeed hear the phrase, "You dumb old crusty fuck you." So, I mean, any video with that in it, got to be good. Texas Outlaw, Michael Signs. There it is. It's like Outlaw. I knew it was Outlaw something. I was blanking out. I'm blanking out on it. And he even stopped in. He was up there. He was one of the first people in the chat a little while ago, like when we first started. Because I commented under his video. I was like, "Ever heard of the wound up son bitch of the week?" And he's like, "No." Well, so there you go. So there you go. Go watch that video. And I'll tell you what, go watch that video and comment that he won wound up son bitch of the week. Let him know.
No, you got to let him know that he won Midnight Range TM's registered trademark wound up son of bitch of the week.
Right. You can't
Otherwise, we don't get our penny.
That's true. That's true. So let him know that we're give him a little bit of love and let him know. So thank you, Wes Covina. I was blanking out on his damn name. I didn't want to get it wrong. I couldn't spit it out. So Seven Wonders says, yeah, he was seriously wound up for sure.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
So we've solved a lot of problems, and we've